2-2 pitch on the way. Swung on and lifted into center. This should do it. Theodore's there. He's got it, and Castillo has thrown a perfect game.
And he turns on it, drives it high into left field toward the line. Kipton going back, and that ball is gone. Home run for Castellano just inside the foul pole.
1-2 pitch to Dill. Got him swinging! And Cinderella has found the slipper.
The defending California League champions are on the air on KVCR. It's time for Inland Empire 66ers baseball. Today's 66ers game is made possible in part by Center Chevrolet, family-owned and operated right here in San Bernardino. By Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, providing each child with the most advanced care available. By improved routes and better service. By Toyota of Redlands at 1139 West Redlands Boulevard. And by Community Hospital of San Bernardino.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Epicenter here in Rancho Cucamonga. Mike Sager with you for tonight's second game of a three-game weekend series, the 66ers and the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes. Tonight, the sixth meeting of the year between the two teams. The Sixers won 3 of 4 from the Quakes when they were here the first time in early May. And now the Quakes opening up the three-game series last night by beating the Sixers 11-5. The Quakes with an 8-run second inning last night, of which only 2 of the 8 runs were earned due to an error by Juan Gonzalez. The 8-run inning was both the biggest inning the Quakes have had in the game, and it was the most runs allowed by the Sixers to an opponent in a single inning. The Quakes, a team that has now won 4 straight, a season high as far as the winning streak. They have gotten to 500 for the first time since the end of April at 17-17. The Sixers last night allowing 10 runs or more for the third time this season. All have been on the road, and their 4-game winning streak ended. They're now 23-13, but still 2 games up on Lancaster in the South. Inland Empire, though, has lost each of its last 4 games on the road. Tonight it will be left-hander Bobby Livingston, who has been a kind of a tonic for the Sixers the last couple of times he has started. That is because each of the last 2 games that Livingston has started, both coming out victorious, they have followed Sixer losses. So we'll see how the left-hander can do tonight. He is 5-0 this year and a 133 earned run average, which is the second lowest in the league. Right-hander Gene Toledo, who has not faced the Sixers this year, will make the start for the Quakes. He is 1-3 this year with an ERA of 6.40. Should be another nice day for baseball, as the temperature right now just a little over 80 degrees, right about 80, and a breeze blowing from the west. That means blowing from left to right field. Mostly clear skies, and we should have a pretty decent-sized crowd here tonight at the Epicenter. Tim Salmon is not going to play. He came out after his knee started hurting again last night after his first at-bat. He had a second at-bat. He said the knee felt by that time as bad as it did when he first hurt the knee at the end of April. So Salmon, kind of hard to say how long he's going to be out, but he is not in the lineup tonight, and it is highly unlikely he will start for the Quakes in tomorrow afternoon's game. Tomorrow's game, by the way, at 2:15. We'll have it for you internet only on sportsjuice.com beginning at about 2:10. Monday is the day off, and then the Sixers go to Maverick Stadium to open a 3-game series Tuesday. So Tuesday would actually be our next radio broadcast. We have a few minutes till game time, and we're going to spend it chatting with Sixer infielder Juan Gonzalez, who has most recently been the regular shortstop with the injury to Michael Garcia-Parra and Ismael Castro. Gonzo's done a pretty solid job this year, and he is among the league leaders in hits. We'll chat with him when we continue in just a moment.
Ooh, what's this?
The new improved Sound Money.
Doesn't sound like Sound Money.
It's got a new sound, packed with variety.
Wow, what are these?
Entertaining new Sound Money feature stories.
What about Chris Farrell's financial advice? I depend on him.
You can still depend on me.
Plus a brand new host.
I'm Kai Risdall.
He's dreamy.
Be the first on your block to hear the new improved Sound Money, the money show for the rest of us.
Sunday at noon on KVCR San Bernardino. Your grandparents came here.
The long drive, and it's a home run for Joe DiMaggio.
Your parents came here.
Here comes Roger Maris in the score, and Tomato pulling the second with a double.
Now it's your turn.
Number 3,000 for one of the great players of all time, George Brett.
Cooperstown, New York. A tradition of excellence for 7 decades. Be a part of it. For information, call 1-888-HALL of Fame.
All right, welcome back to the Epicenter, and we're proud to have with us tonight the shortstop for the Sixers, Juan Gonzalez. I guess really you can kind of play all the infield positions, but because of the injury to Garciaparra, you've been playing short. Early in your career, I think your first couple of years, you were more of a third baseman, though, weren't you?
Yeah, thank you for this. Before I started with the Seattle, I was third base and second base with the Tigers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, do you have a preference? Do you like one of the positions more than the other?
Yeah, I like to be in the medium because I got more action over there, like short and second more than third. Mm-hmm. So I don't care. I can play third, second, short, whatever. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter for me.
I guess the biggest difference on that side is with shortstop, you've got to be able to cover a lot more ground, where at third, it's just you have like a second to react to a play.
Yeah, you got to move just more than second and third. You got protection third base, second base too. So too hard, but I like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now you're hitting in the leadoff spot this year, and I know last year, I think when you were in the Tigers organization, you hit leadoff, and you only hit like 190 out of the one hole, but this year you've actually done a pretty good job. Is there any particular reason you think you're doing pretty well hitting leadoff this year compared to last year?
I don't know. This year I'm just trying to put the ball more in play and get on base. It's working for me right now. As you can see, hitting over 300, so maybe that's why. Last year I taken more pitch, I got more work. I stopped swinging like now I'm doing, so maybe that's why.
Well, I've noticed, not all the time, but in a lot of your games, you'll go after the very first pitch of the game. Is that because you're figuring the pitcher's going to start you off with a fastball first pitch?
Yeah, I like to see the first pitch because I throw fastball right in the middle. Yeah. If I take a good swing, I get a hit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now that they know me, they're going to start throw a change and slide it.
So now you got to wait a little bit.
Yeah, I got to take the first pitch now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, you got traded in January. You were in the Tigers organization, so you've only been in the Seattle system a few months. Have you kind of gotten over the shock of the trade now that you sort of started to get to know all the guys?
Yeah, when I get to Seattle, the spring training was like weird for me, but now I get comfortable with the guys and every day. You know what I'm saying? So I like it now.
I guess the bottom line is baseball, and all the players are pretty much the same, even the new ones you meet, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now, with this ball club here, Garciaparra, when eventually he comes back, you're going to be moving around. Is it easier for you if you can settle in and play one position for a while, or do you kind of like also moving around, playing a couple at third, couple at short, couple at second?
I really want to stay in one position, but, this the organization like that, so I take it. I can move around. Doesn't matter for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, I know you're from Venezuela, and you actually speak English very well. Did you learn it before you came to the United States, or was that after you joined the Tiger organization?
Yeah, when I get to the United States, I learn by myself.
Really?
Yeah, I talk with the guys and hang out with the people. Learn by myself.
Kind of a tough, I'm born in America, and English is a very tough language to learn because there's so many different words that mean the same thing. But did you pick it up pretty quickly?
Yeah, I was working so hard and I like it. Yeah, I want to be like bilingual, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I pushed 2 more words in that.
There you go. Well, good for you. Hey, how about your switch hitting now? Have you been switch hitting most of your life, or is that something pretty new?
I'll be like about 6 years.
Really?
Yeah, like 1 2 years before I get signed.
Are you a natural righty or lefty?
Natural righty.
Okay. Who suggested that you might try switch hitting?
Marvis Cole.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I like that guy. Mm-hmm. The best. So, yeah.
How long did it take before you really felt comfortable hitting from both sides?
Like 2 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, it was hard because this left side, my right side was easy, but the left side I had to work hard for make a good swing and all that stuff. But when you learn, you're gonna get a lot of hits.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's something that I guess you probably had to work at every single day, just swinging from that side of the plate, didn't you?
Yep. Every day I have to work hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, you keep up the good job, Gonzo. I appreciate you coming by and visiting with us, and get a couple more base knots tonight, would you?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Juan Gonzalez, Sixer shortstop, has been with us. We'll have more from Rancho in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Lisa McCree of California Connected. Join us each week for a look at what's going on in your state.
If people want politics to improve in this state, they have to get more involved in the political process, and they have a weapon to bear on that, and that is the ballot that they cast.
The problems and the solutions.
You get enough people together, and you be that squeaky wheel, you can make your own changes.
Get informed and get involved with California Connected. What state are you in? That's California Connected, Saturday at noon on KBCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
Omnitrans is working hard to provide the public with a level of service that's bigger and better. A listing of their system-wide improvements is in your bus book if you're a current Omnitrans rider or on their website. Omnitrans operates the nation's first gasoline electric hybrid buses and over 100 buses powered by clean natural gas 7 days a week. Omnitrans will get you to work, school, or wherever life takes you with improved routes and better service. More information is at 800-966-6428 or on the web at omnitrans.org. Be smart, be safe, Omnitrans.
Well, I told you it'll be Bobby Livingston going for his 6th win of the year. Livingston is one of just a few pitchers in minor league baseball right now who are a perfect 5-0. I checked some numbers earlier. I think there are 4 other pitchers in the minors who have that same 5-0 mark. So Livingston trying to avoid what would be a Sixer losing streak if they lose tonight 2 straight, but more importantly trying to snap that 4-game road losing streak and get the Sixers back in the win column. As far as the rest of the league was concerned last night, the Sixers did get a little bit of help. The Lancaster Jethawks bullpen unable to hold on to a lead in the 9th inning at home, and Visalia came back to beat the Jethawks 8-6. So that means that the 66ers remain 2 games ahead of Lancaster in the South Division. The Jethawks now 20-14 on the year. Connor Jackson had a pair of doubles for the Jethawks and drove in 2. Jeff Salazar Visalia had 2 home runs and drove in 2. Bakersfield over Modesto 4-1. Mike Prochaska went 7 innings, struck out 6 to get the win for the Blaze. Darryl McCall took the loss, and former Seattle minor leaguer Sam Walton picked up his 2nd save. Eric Reese of the Blaze had 2 hits, a double and a home run, and an RBI. Lake Elsinore beat High Desert 8-5. The Mavericks losing streak now at 7. They're 13-23, just the opposite of first place Inland Empire. 10 games out of first place. The Mavericks going home to begin a homestand. John Huber picked up the win for the Storm, and Khalid Faluli, who had been out with an injury, returned to the rotation for the Mavericks but wound up losing it. Paul McAnulty of the Storm missed a cycle by a single of all things. Home run, triple, and double drove in 3. Storm teammate Luis Cruz had a 3-hit night that included a double, a triple, and 3 RBIs. San Jose was a 9-5 winner against Stockton last night. Brooks McNiven picked up the win for the Giants, 2-1 this year. Wes Littleton took the loss. He is 1-4. Carlos Sosa of San Jose, 3 for 4 with a double, a home run, and 4 RBIs. And red-hot Giant left fielder Dan Trumbull had 2 more hits and drove in a run. Tonight, Visalia is in Lancaster. That game actually is already underway, and we'll give you an update on that very shortly. San Jose is up in Stockton. That game just underway as well. Lake Elsinore at High Desert just getting started, and Modesto at Bakersfield, their game supposedly getting started as we speak. The way the standings shake out in the South Division, the 66ers 23-13, the best record in the league, and they have a 2-game lead over Lancaster. Lake Elsinore 4 games over 500. They are 3 out. Rancho Cucamonga getting back to 500 with the win last night. They trailed the Sixers by 5, and the Mavericks are 10 out. In the North, Modesto 20-15. San Jose, winners of 8 out of 10, are just a game and a half behind the A's. They are the only other team in the North above 500. You've got 3rd place Visalia at 5 under and 5 games out. Stockton 6 games under and 5.5 out. Bakersfield 14-20, and they are 5.5 out. We're going to take another timeout. We're going to be back with more here at the Epicenter in just a moment.
Ooh, what's this?
The new improved Sound Money.
Doesn't sound like Sound Money.
It's got a new sound, packed with variety.
Wow, what are these?
Entertaining new Sound Money feature stories.
What about Chris Sparrow's financial advice? I depend on him.
You can still depend on me.
Plus a brand new host.
I'm Kai Risdall.
He's dreamy.
Be the first on your block to hear the new improved Sound Money, the Money Show for the rest of us.
Sunday at noon on KDCR, San Bernardino.
Hi, I'm Lisa McCree of California Connected. Join us each week for a look at what's going on in your state.
If people want politics to improve in this state, they have to get more involved in the political process, and they have a weapon to bear on that, and that is the ballot that they cast.
The problems and the solutions.
You get enough people together, and you be that squeaky wheel, you can make your own changes.
Get informed and get involved with California Connected. What state are you in? That's California Connected, Saturday at noon on KBCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
Quakes are on the field, so we're going to have the color guard presenting the American flag here momentarily, and then the national anthem. While we are waiting for that, keep in mind the Sixers are home next Friday night, and that'll be a big weekend. For one, the second-place Lancaster Jethawks are going to be coming in for a 3-game series. And don't forget, Saturday night, a week from tonight, the famous San Diego Chicken will make his only San Bernardino appearance, and there will also be a post-game fireworks show. That'll be next Saturday, of course, 50-cent Friday, next Friday night, and then the 3-game Lancaster series concluding on Sunday, May the 23rd, and there will be another kids clinic sponsored by Loma Linda Medical Center Children's Hospital and Big Bear Mountain Spring Water. So we're going to pause here as the crowd has risen, the colors being presented, and in just a moment our national anthem, and then we will have the starting lineups when that is finished.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets fled the land, the bombs bursting in air, did prove to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the brave and the home of the brave. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Pope.
Jeff Pope doing the national anthem. You know, I do believe, that is the same Jeff Pope who used to be the public address announcer at Piscolini Field for the San Bernardino Spirit. In fact, he was the PA announcer, I believe, the first year at Arrowhead Credit Union Park. J.J. Gold has been doing it there for a while now. But that would be the Jeff Pope. Small world, huh? I think he's working in local radio on one of the FM stations. Anyway, back to baseball, and I want to also remind you with that homestand coming up beginning next Friday, you can now order your 66er tickets from the convenience of your home on your computer. Just the other day, they got the system in place, so you can now go online, ie66ers.com, and you can order your tickets right there without having to leave the house. So several different ways to get your Sixer tickets. Whatever way you choose, hopefully we see you out there next weekend. That'll be a big series. Don't forget the first half is just about a month away from ending. So we are starting to get toward the stretch drive. Last night, or 2 nights ago, would have been the halfway mark of the first half. 35 games down, 35 to go. Gene Toledo warming up, and here's how the Sixers will hit against him tonight. Juan Gonzalez, our pregame guest, will lead off and play short. Jesus Guzman will be at third base. Gary Harris hitting third and center field, followed by cleanup hitter, right fielder T.J. Bond. Matt Rogelstad starting at second base. Peachy Bowlett, the right fielder, hitting sixth. Carlos Arroyo batting seventh and left. Matt Hagan at first base hitting eighth. And doing the catching and batting ninth is Brian Lenz. Defensively for the Quakes, they've got Mike Napoli at first base, Adam Pavkovich at second, Eric Ibar the shortstop, and Greg Porter is over at third base. In the outfield, B.J. Weed is in left, Reggie Willis is the center fielder, Ranzo Melgarejo in right, and Ryan Buddy is doing the catching. Gene Toledo, a record of 1-3 and an earned run average of 640. His only win came in his first start of the year back on April 13. He had a no decision in Lake Elsinore in his last start last Sunday. And his first pitch of the game to Juan Gonzalez, taken for a strike, 0-1. Gonzo, a 3-hit game last night, hitting .319, and he fouls the second pitch of the game back third base side to fall behind 0-2. Juan entered last night, 3 for his last 20. The 2 times he made out, he struck out. He had not fanned in 10 straight games. Toledo's next one is low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But he can tell you in the third inning in Lancaster, Visalia with an early 2-1 lead over the Jethawks. The Oaks getting 2 runs in the first inning. That is the only update we have from the Cal League. Toledo winds, and the 1-2 pitch to Gonzo is on the inside corner. I think Gonzalez was fooled by the pitch. He actually turned in thinking he was going to get hit by a pitch and might have been looking for something on the outer part or perhaps over the middle of the plate. So Toledo with a strikeout. His strikeout and walks this year in 26 2/3 innings. Toledo with 23 strikeouts. That's not a bad number, but a little bit high on the walk side with 15. Here's Jesus Guzman, and the right-hander takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Sixers had plenty of hits last night. They were out hit by the Quakes 15-13. Normally you get 13 hits in a game and you're going to win, but the Sixers never had the lead, as Rancho got 8 in the second to take an 8-0 lead. Guzman takes outside from Toledo, 2-0. Jesus in the ballgame last night, he had 2 hits, a single and a double. Drove in a run and scored a run. He is hitting .298 with the Sixers. It's a high fly ball down the right field line. Room for Melgarejo right by the line, and makes the catch, still in fair territory. Out number 2 here in the Sixer first inning, and the batter will be Gary Harris. The press box here tonight is like Grand Central Station. We have got everything, the whole soup to nuts going on here. The Quakes have a deal with their local cable television outlet to televise a handful of games this year, and tonight is one of them. They had a TV game when the Sixers were here earlier in the month. So they've got the TV set up in the same room as Harris takes low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. They are located a little bit behind us. Mike Wagenheim, my broadcast partner, is actually filling in for Jason Anaforian, the Quakes radio man, on the Quakes radio station. Harris flies to left. B.J. Weed goes back to one-handed to end the inning. So they got Wags to the left. I'm sitting over here, and the TV's behind us, and we've got the newspaper, official score, and everybody else all in one cozy room. And I hope everybody took a shower today. We played a half inning at the Epicenter, 6-0, Quakes coming up.
Toyota of Redlands is pleased to once again be partnering with the California League champion 66ers. Located at 1139 West Redlands Boulevard, Toyota of Redlands has a line of new 2004 Toyota cars and trucks, as well as certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Toyota of Redlands is part of the local community just like you and believes in personal relationships, and they're open 7 days a week. More information is at 793-0300 or on the web at toyotaofredlands.com.
Are you serious about your career? ITT Technical Institute in San Bernardino offers technology and business education for today's workplace with associate and bachelor's degrees in 4 schools of study. ITT Tech has many different class schedules with hands-on learning and applied knowledge. Financial aid is also available for those who qualify. ITT Tech in San Bernardino is located on Briar Drive. More information on your new career is at 800-888-3801. ITT Tech and education for the future.
Humpbacks are world famous for their beautiful and haunting songs. The gentle giants are now being revealed as aggressive predators. First, the scream, then the chase. We are only now beginning to appreciate the complexities of these giants of the deep.
Next time on Nature.
Monday night at 9 on KVCR-TV, Channel 24.
Reggie Willits, Eric Ibar, and Mike Napoli, the first up against left-hander Bobby Livingston, who is a perfect 5-0 this year. A brilliant earned run average of 133. That is second in the league. He's tied with 2 other pitchers for the most wins. And his first pitch of the game to Willits outside and high, 1-0. Reggie Willits, a switch hitter in his second year. He was a 7th-round draft pick out of the University of Oklahoma last year. Takes a strike to even the count, 1-1. Reggie with 2 hits last night. In his last 3 games, he is 6 for 14 with 4 runs and a couple of RBIs, getting 2 hits in each of those 3 games. He is hitting .256 this year as he takes a strike to run the count, 1-2. Willits in his 34th game. Livingston beat the Quakes here on April 30th. That was a game the Sixers won 11-3. It was their first meeting of the year against Rancho, and Willits chased a terrible pitch outside and low. So he strikes out to begin the Quakes' first inning. That'll bring up the switch-hitting shortstop, Eric Ibar. In that game, Livingston worked 7 2/3 innings, gave up 6 hits and 3 runs. And to give you an idea of what kind of year Bobby has had to this point, those 3 earned runs he allowed in that start would be a season high for him. He allowed 1 run in 6 innings when he beat the Mavericks on Monday night, as Ibar pulls it back to third base foul, 0-1. And before I forget, want to make sure, because Bobby asked me today before the game to make sure to say a special hello to his grandmother, Nelda Harrison, who is listening. Believe he said she's in the St. Louis area. Ibar pulls it again back to third, and Bobby Meacham makes a nice play on one hop. Quakes manager, a former big league infielder, will flip it into the stands. 0-2 the count to Ibar. So Nelda, next time you talk to Bobby, make sure you pass along the word that we followed up on our word. And you certainly can be proud of your grandson. Ibar hitting .357, chases a pitch up and away. So both he and Willits have gone after bad 2-strike pitches and have struck out here in the first. Here's Mike Napoli, who to this point certainly doesn't need much of an introduction. He has worn out his welcome as far as Cal League pitchers go. Napoli slugged his league-leading 11th home run of the year last night. A 3-run shot, 1 of 2 hits he had. He also had a double. Napoli, with 11 home runs, has already hit more this year than he has any other year in his career. And Livingston's pitch to him is high and outside. His best year prior to this year would have been 2 years ago when he had 10 home runs in the Midwest League. Foul ball off to the right out of play. That'll even the count, 1-1. Napoli's 2 hits last night, his 8th multiple hit game of the year. Mike hitting .351, and he's got 38 runs batted in. He leads the league in home runs, RBIs, and slugging. Livingston with an off-speed pitch. That one is hit foul. So the count, 1-2. And it was Napoli who, after Livingston faced the Quakes the first time on April 30th, Napoli, who was with Rancho last year, is the one who said that Livingston reminded him a lot of Ryan Ketchner, but with a curveball. 1-2 on the way is outside and low 2-2. And Ketchner, a tremendous season with the Sixers last year, a 14-game winner. The 2-2 pitch to Napoli is fouled straight back into the screen. Mike has hit 5 of his 11 home runs at home this year. Matter of fact, the Quakes have hit 13 home runs here at the Epicenter in 18 games. Napoli has hit better than a third of them. Next one is low in the dirt, and the count 3-2. Napoli gave the Sixers a lot of trouble last year. He had .321 against them, and 3 of his 4 home runs with the Quakes came at the expense of Inland Empire pitching. Outfield, a little bit toward right, no score in the first inning. Livingston winds and deals, and Napoli takes strike 3. Fastball that had a little movement to it, crossed the inside corner, and Bobby Livingston starts his night by striking out the side. So we have played one here at the Epicenter with no score.
At Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, they're totally committed to providing your child with the most advanced care available. They're the only children's hospital in the Inland Empire. From cuts and broken bones to cardiac care and transplants, the medical staff at Loma Linda University Children's Hospital attends to each child with love, concern, and personal attention. More information is at 800-825-KIDS. Loma Linda University Children's Hospital.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries is a proud supporter of 66ers baseball. Lazy Boy has locations in San Bernardino, Riverside, Hemet, and Ontario Mills. Lazy Boy has been a part of America's home since the late 1920s. Lazy Boy's furniture stands the test of time thanks to quality materials, extensive engineering, and rigorous testing. They're committed to building only the quality furniture and back every piece with their word. Lazy Boy. They make rooms that make homes.
Baseball season is at hand, and movie guy Kevin Murphy has been thinking about the sport, but not Field of Dreams or The Natural. I'm Brian Naylor. Sunday on Weekend Edition from NPR News, Murphy looks at 2 baseball films dealing with real ball players with real lives and human complexities. Also another slice of Americana, Woody Guthrie, revealed in a new biography.
Sunday morning on KVCR, San Bernardino.
No score at the end of 1 inning tonight. Inland Empire and the Quakes both going down in order. And here in the top of the second, it'll be T.J. Bond, Matt Rogelstad, and Peachy Ballette against right-hander Gene Toledo. Well, I tell you, T.J. was really ripping the ball in batting practice today. Not that that necessarily means a lot, because batting practice and in real game situation don't equate. First pitch on the outside corner, but he was crushing them. T.J. 0 for 2 last night, but he drew 2 more walks, so he's drawn 7 in his last 4 games and 11 in his last 11 games. Takes inside 1-1. And Bond with almost as many walks as strikeouts, 23 compared to 24. He is tied for third in the league in walks and hitting .319. The pitch to him is inside, 2-1. Bond, since he had that 12-game hitting streak, has hit .226 in 11 games since. Outfield straight away. TJ goes for one that was off the plate outside, 2-2. Bond with a slugging percentage of over .520 and an on-base percentage of just under .450. He would lead the league in on-base percentage this year. Toledo's breaking ball outside, 3-2. Last year, Toledo spent the summer in Cedar Rapids in the Midwest League and wound up winning 12 games, tied for the most wins of any Angel minor leaguer. Big breaking ball drops in for a strike. TJ took a couple of steps toward first base, but from up here that looked to be a pretty good pitch. So Toledo has fanned 2 of the first 4. Both have been looking. That'll bring up Matt Rogelstad. And it looks like Rogie has come out of his slump. 2 hits and an RBI last night, 5 for 11 with 3 extra base hits and 4 RBIs. In his last 3 games, he has raised his average 24 points in those 3 to just under 270. Shows bunt and takes low 1-0. Rogelstadt was 3 for 12 in the first series here at the Epicenter. Toledo's next one in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Toledo is from Venezuela, Barcelona. He was signed by the Angels in 2001. Rogelstadt drops a bunt down the third base side. Pretty good bunt. Toledo's throw, though, is going to be in time to get him. That was a nice bunt, though, by Rogelstadt. 2 outs in the second for designated hitter Peachy Ballett. The Sixers, during their 4-game road losing streak, have been outscored 32-12, and they have not held a lead at any point in those 4 games. They have been somewhat of an enigma on the road this year. They are 10-11, but when you break down their 21 road games, they have had a 4-game road losing streak, which is current. First one to Ballett in for a strike. They had a 5-game road losing streak in April, and when they started that 13-game road trip in late April, they won the first 5 of that trip. Ballett takes a fastball outside, 1-1. So, of their 21 road games, 14 of them have been part of streaks, 2/3 of the games. Outfield straight away, infield back, and Ballett takes on the outside corner. Peachy now behind, 1 ball and 2 strikes. He has not struck out in his last 15 games. Ballett hitting .312. The last game he fanned in was April the 25th. And the 1-2 from Toledo, low and outside, 2-2. Peachy with 10 hits over his last 23 at-bats, including 4 extra base hits. And hitting .356 in May. The 2-2 pitch from Toledo is a hard shot hit past the second baseman Pavkovich and on into right center. Adam diving to his right, couldn't quite get to it. 2-out single for Peachy Ballett, first base runner for either team tonight, coming here in the top of the second. And that'll bring up Carlos Arroyo. John Nelson is supposed to get that bone scan tomorrow. John not officially on the disabled list yet, and has been out for several days with what they are calling for now an abdominal strain. Toledo's pitch to Arroyo is downstairs. So Carlos playing every day now that Nelson has been on the shelf. Arroyo with a 4-game hitting streak. Carlos 6 for 15 during the streak and hitting .312 this year. 5 extra base hits, 11 RBIs. Toledo with a change and a chopper hit to second. Pavkovich to Ibar to get the force out. No runs, a base hit, and a runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the second here in the Epicenter tonight. Sixers nothing and the Quakes nothing.
Community Hospital of San Bernardino's dedicated team of physicians, nurses, and general health care professionals have been serving the local community for nearly 100 years. They provide medical care that's both state-of-the-art and straight from the heart. They're located on Medical Center Drive between Highland and Baseline. Community Hospital of San Bernardino, the relief specialists. Information is available at 1-877-CHW-DOCS.
Hi, I'm Kai Rizdal. All financial advice is not created equal. Just ask Sound Money's Chris Farrell.
I love Stephen Roach. He's a wonderful man. But this time, he's certifiably off the wall. I'm steamed up at Lou Dobbs. Donald, you're fired.
Chris examines the week's business news to tell you what is smart, what is stupid, and what's the straight story. It's only on Sound Money, the money show for the rest of us.
Sunday at 12 noon on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Evening, gentlemen. Can I see some ID, please?
But I'm bald.
So's my 2-month-old son.
But I have dentures, eh?
You should have brushed harder.
Look, I've got my senior citizen's bus pass right here.
I'm afraid that's not a picture ID, sir.
World War I dog tags.
Sorry, soldier.
You can't be too careful about stopping underage drinking. So here's to everyone who checks ID. Thanks to you, teen drinking is down by 47%.
Picture me with President Coolidge.
Anheuser-Busch.
I'm sorry, Saturday night I expect a better showing from you.
Bobby Livingston struck out the side in the first inning and gets ready to work to the Quakes here in the bottom of the second with no score in the ball game. Livingston is 2-0 on the road with a 2.75 ERA. This would be his 4th road start. The Sixers in the 6 games, actually the 7 games that Bobby has started this year, have won 5 of them, including each of the last 4. And in fact, Livingston has had the victory himself in each of those 4 games. So a 5-0 record, wins in 4 straight starts, and David Gates will lead things off here in the second. Ground ball to third, flagged by Guzman, who spins around and throws across to Matt Hagan for the out. 1 pitch and 1 away in the second. Batter will be the left-hand hitting Greg Porter. You know, when you look at a guy like Livingston, and he has such great control, his 3 strikeouts in the first inning give him 41 this year in about 49 innings. He has only walked 6 batters. He has not walked a batter in either of his last 2 starts. And when you hear baseball people talk about control, as the first pitch to Porter, in there for a strike, they're not talking about a pitcher who throws nothing but strikes. If that's all you did as a pitcher, as a professional, you'd wind up getting your lunch handed to you. The strike 1 to Porter is outside to even the count 1-1. Really what they mean is that control is throwing enough strikes to get the batter to swing at pitches that are out of the zone. Porter is out in front of one, hits a bouncer to first. Hagan will flip it to Livingston, who was close by. So Greg Porter is retired for out number 2 here in the Rancho second. Porter coming in hitting .320. Going to bring up the Quakes catcher, Ryan Buddy. Buddy 1 for 3 with a double last night. He was one of 3 Rancho batters who was hit by a pitch from Juan Sandoval. Buddy hitting .237, but Ryan has hit in 6 of his last 7 games. He is hitting 100 points higher to start the month of May at .303, and he drives one deep to center. Gary Harris going back, and it's off the fence. The ball is in play, and Buddy's going to wind up at second base. So Ryan Buddy getting his 4th double of the year, his 7th extra base hit, and the Quakes have a runner in scoring position for second baseman Adam Pavkovich. That's only the 11th extra base hit that Livingston has allowed among his 33 hits he has given up this year. One number to look at, and you don't hear it mentioned a lot, but it is certainly an important statistic. Pavkovich, a right-hander, takes outside 1-0. When you look at the pitcher, there's a statistic they call WHIP, W-H-I-P, and that is simply the ratio of walks and hits to innings pitched. Obviously, you want that number as low as possible, and if you can get it under 1, you're doing a tremendous job. Breaking ball in for a strike to Pavkovich. Bobby Livingston has the best whip of any pitcher in the California League, 0.8. So when you add his walks and hits, it is less than the total number of innings pitched. That's why he's 5-0. Pavkovich takes high, 2-1. Adam coming in for Tim Salmon last night and had 2 doubles. Drove in a run and scored 1. The 7th time he's had 2 hits in a game this year. He had not had an extra base hit in 13 games. Adam hitting .238. Has driven in 3 runs as he takes inside from Livingston, and the count now 3-1. No score here in the second with 2 outs. What's really amazing when you look at some of the pitchers in baseball history in terms of control and some of the great accomplishments, as Pavkovich takes low, and there's a rare Bobby Livingston walk. His first one allowed in 3 starts. That'll give Ranzo Melgarejo a chance to hit. Melgarejo had the 2-run triple in this same inning last night. They made it 2-0 Quakes, and they went on to score 8 runs in the inning. You know, Christy Mathewson, the great Giants pitcher, in back-to-back seasons, 1913 and 1914, he actually had more wins than walks allowed. 24 wins in 1913. He had 21 walks. Melgarejo takes a strike. And a year later, Mathewson won 25 and walked 23. Melgarejo hitting .288. Rancho was on the disabled list when the Sixers and the Quakes met for the first time. He had been out with a strained left wrist. And he hits a fly ball into right. T.J. Bond going back on it to the track, reaches up, and he's got it. A long fly out the other way by Melgarejo, and that's how the inning ends. The Quakes with a double, a walk, and 2 left. We have played 2 at the Epicenter tonight with no score.
The good folks at Center Chevrolet are helping to make this broadcast possible. They're located at 1355 Southeast Street, just south of Rancho Road. Center Chevrolet is family-owned and operated. They have a large inventory of new and used vehicles with a variety of models, colors, styles, and options to choose from. They've been selling and leasing to the same customers for over 50 years. For more information, 909-889-8561, or find them on the web at centerchevrolet.com. Chevy, an American revolution. Fans, you can see some of baseball's brightest and best future stars up close and personal at this year's California League versus Carolina League All-Star Game, June 29th at Arrowhead Credit Union Park. There will be a pregame skills competition that will include the always popular Home Run Derby. Tickets for this year's All-Star Game are available now. The 66ers can provide you with more information at 909-888-9922 or on the web at ie66ers.com.
This week on A Prairie Home Companion, it's our annual joke show. Jokes like Martha Stewart's new recipe for tuna casserole. It serves 6 to 8. Single women are skinnier. Why? Because they come home, they see what's in the fridge, they go to bed. Married women come home, they see what's in the bed, they go to the fridge. Women use twice as many words every day as men do. Why? Because they have to repeat everything. Those jokes and more this week on A Prairie Home Companion.
Sunday evening at 6 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Both the Sixers and the Quakes have 1 hit at the end of 2 innings. We have no score in the game. Inland Empire getting a 2-out second-inning single from Peachy Ballette. Here in the third against Gene Toledo, they'll have Matt Hagan, Brian Lynch, and Juan Gonzalez. On the Major League scoreboard today, St. Louis Cardinals shut out the Marlins 4-0. Carpenter got the win, and Oliver took the loss. Philadelphia, a 16-5 win in Colorado. Phillies had 18 hits today. Interestingly enough, only 1 was a home run. That was Bobby Abreu. Castilla, Clayton, and Helton had home runs for Colorado. Scott Ellerton, the losing pitcher, he is now 0-6. Give you some more scores in a moment as Matt Hagan gets ready to hit. Number 8 hitter in the order. Toledo winds and deals, and Hagan hits a slow grounder past the pitcher. Ibar in to field it, though, and a nifty play by Eric, throwing on the run, and gets Hagan by plenty. 1 away for Brian Lenz, giving Rene Rivera the night off behind the plate. That means Rivera will start the day game here tomorrow. Lenz came up as a pinch hitter Wednesday night, the third game of the Maverick series, and flied out. This would be his 9th start. And Brian hitting .231, 6 runs batted in. He is fanned 9 times in 26 at-bats. You take away the strikeouts as he looks at one on the outside corner. Means he's gone 6 for 17 when he has put the ball in play. Toledo, feet spread apart slightly, comes back with the 0-1, and it swung on a miss. Pittsburgh, a 6-4 win in San Francisco. Josh Fogg finally getting a victory after going 0-4. Brett Tomko, the loser. Strike 2 pitch outside, 1-2. Wilson hit his 9th of the year for the Bucks. Atlanta riding a 5-run first inning to an 11-6 win in Milwaukee. Al Fonseca now 5-0 gets the win. Andrew Jones, his 6th home run for the Braves. Breaking ball to Lentz, lifted into right center field. Reggie Willits drifting over, puts it away for out number 2. That'll bring us back to the top of the order. Juan Gonzalez, our pregame guest, who struck out looking to start the game tonight. Gonzo, a natural right-handed batter, told us on the interview he's been switch hitting for about 6 years, and he said it took him about 2 to 3 years before he really felt comfortable from the left side. First pitch is a fastball inside, about waist high. Houston, a 7-4 win at home against the Mets. Andy Pettitte getting the win. He's now 4-1. Toledo's pitch bunted, but up along third foul. Chicago is at San Diego tonight, and the Cubs leading 1-0 in the third inning. Montreal 1-0 over Arizona at the end of 2. The Reds leading Los Angeles 1-0 in the middle of the third. 1-1 pitch is a looper into left field. That's going to drop for a hit in front of B.J. Weed. Juan Gonzalez, his 44th hit of the season, came in third in the league in hits and 6th in the league in runs. He has now hit safely in all 6 games he has played against Rancho, all of them, of course, here at the Epicenter. And in those 6, hitting .500. So the Sixers with 2 hits, both coming with 2 outs, though. And here's Jesus Guzman, who flied to right field in his first at-bat. Gonzalez held on at first by Napoli, and a pitch out that almost got away. Ryan Buddy able to get his glove on it and slow it down, so Gonzo has to hold on. Gonzalez, as a base stealer this year, would have 9. That would lead the team, but he has also been caught stealing, a team high 7 times. Now he'll draw a throw from the pitcher Toledo. In the American League, it was Cleveland 9-7 over Tampa Bay. Westbrook getting the win, and Zambrano took the loss. Lawton hit his 7th home run of the year for Cleveland. Toledo over to first, and Gonzalez back safely. No score in the third for those of you just tuning in. In that Indians game, Cleveland's cleanup hitter, Victor Martinez, drove in 5 runs tonight. There goes Gonzo. The pitch, a strike. Buddy's throwing a bounce. Ibar digs it out, and Gonzo's going to be safe. Eric Ibar with a great play to keep it from going into center. The base umpire, Brandon Cooney, right on top of it, though. So that would be the 10th steal of the year for Gonzalez. And Jesus Guzman a chance to get the first run of the game out there. He has hit, granted he's only had 14 at-bats with runners in scoring position, but he's hit .430. 6 hits, 3 doubles when he has hit in the clutch. He has knocked in 8 with the Sixers. Toledo's pitch is high and outside. So Guzman now on a hitter's count, 2-1. Texas, a 6-1 win in Detroit. Rangers hit 3 home runs tonight. Soriano, Young, and Blaylock. Hank Blaylock hitting his 10th. Kenny Rogers, the winner, 5-2. Seattle had a wild game in New York today. The Mariners blowing leads of 4-0 and 7-4. Went 13 innings and then scored 6 runs in the 13th to beat the Yankees 13-7. Eddie Guardado wound up getting the win over Gabe White. New York hit 5 home runs today, including 2 by Alex Rodriguez. He now has 9. Sheffield, Williams, and Matsui hit the other ones. Seattle catcher Dan Wilson had 2 3-run doubles today. Outfield straight away, next one low and outside. So Guzman ahead of Toledo 3-1 with Juan Gonzalez at second. 2 out, no score in the third inning. Red Sox a 4-0 win over Toronto. Arroyo getting the win over Henkin. Ortiz and Bellhorn homered for the Red Sox. The Angels beat the Orioles 7-4 in Baltimore. The Halos with a 6-run 4th inning. Jared Washburn is now 7-1. Next one is high, so Guzman. Well, yeah, that is ball 4. Guzman kind of walked out of the batter's box, so evidently Jesus forgot the count and then realized it was ball 4. So that's the first walk issued by Toledo. Sixers now with 2 on and 2 out. And a suddenly red-hot Gary Harris climbs in. Gary flied out in the first inning, but Harris, who had 2 hits, 2 RBIs last night, has hit in 5 straight, and he's hit .380 during the hitting streak with 7 RBIs. This would be his longest hitting streak of the year. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. His average going up about 20 points to 273 during the streak. And right now, Gary with a team-high 25 RBIs. He is 6th in the league in RBIs for the season and tied for 4th in RBIs among the league in the month of May. 12 RBIs this month in 14 games. He had 13 RBIs in 20 games in April. Toledo with a high fastball, and Harris now ahead 2-0. Minnesota beat the White Sox 4-1. Torrey Hunter hitting 2 home runs for the Twins. Frank Thomas, number 7 for the White Sox. And it was Oakland winning in Kansas City 3-1. Mark Mulder, a complete game for the A's. He's now 4-2. Former Cal Leaguer Eric Chavez hitting his 10th home run of the year for Oakland. So that brings you up to date on the Major League scoreboard. Timeout for the moment. Rancho pitching coach Keith Comstock going out to have a word with his right-hander. Toledo making his 3rd start at home in his last start here on April 29th against San Jose. He gave up a season-high 7 earned runs in 2 1/3 innings. 2-0 is over for a strike to Harris, 2-1 to Gary. During the Quakes' 4-game winning streak, they have allowed just 12 runs while scoring 28. They have not trailed at any point during the 4 games, and they've been getting some very good starts. 2-1 to Harris is a flare hit into right center field. That might be trouble. It will be caught by the center fielder, Reggie Willis. What a great play by Willis as he went into a slide in right center field and took a hit and probably 2 RBIs away from Gary Harris. They'll put an asterisk next to that one, and that's how the 3rd inning ends tonight. No runs, a hit, 2 left, and at the end of 2.5 at the epicenter, we have no score.
Hello, it's me again to tell you about the wonders that is me, the Verizon Super Pages, the spicy jalapeno of the Yellow Pages world. Tonight, let me play chic. I have oodles of clothing stores and salons. You can even get some very dark, mysterious sunglasses. Then we can hit the night spots all over town. I'm the Yellow Pages that knows where to boogie. And I'm also available on your cell phone and online on superpages.com. So you can open up the Verizon Super Pages phone book if you want to take a big swig from the flask of life.
Online, on your cell, in the book, the Verizon Super Pages. Wherever you are, there it is.
There's a saying in baseball that to play well, you have to look good from head to toe. That's why all Major League and Minor League Baseball players wear caps made by New Era Cap Company. Behind every New Era flag is a storied past of passion, integrity, and pride. Passion for detail and excellence, integrity that's reflected in a high-quality cap, and pride for the successes and relationships born from passion and integrity. More information on New Era caps can be found at neweracap.com. New Era Cap Company. It's not a cap, it's a flag.
Every trial is a drama. Lawyers paint their clients as heroes, the opposition is drawn as villains. Would cameras in the courtroom illuminate the story or focus on small, unimportant pieces of the bigger picture? I'm Margot Adler. Cameras in the courtroom, next time on NPR's Justice Talking.
Sunday afternoon at 2 on KVCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
Second and 12, be on the lookout. Here comes some Gibson toys. Heads up, second and 12.
Bottom of the 3rd inning, no score, thanks to a great catch by Rancho center fielder Reggie Willits, taking a hit and a couple of ribbies away from Gary Harris. So Bobby Livingston working to number 9 hitter B.J. Weed. Weed hitting 279, and Livingston's first one is a high fastball cut on and missed. B.J. with a base hit last night. He has given the Sixers some problems this year, hitting a team-high 368 as far as the Quake players go. 7 for 19, including a triple and a couple of ribbies. And he's hit in 8 of his last 9 games here at the epicenter. He hits a pop-up back to short. Gonzo racing out and flags it. Nifty play. Gonzalez with his back to the plate made the catch partly over his shoulder. So Weed retired, one away. Here's the leadoff hitter, Reggie Willits, who struck out chasing a pitch outside and low in the first inning tonight. Last inning, we were talking about Livingston and what a great control pitcher he is, and started talking about some of the great control stories throughout the years in baseball, guys who really could throw strikes. First pitch to Willits in there. There was a pitcher years ago named Stan Kovaleski, who in one particular game pitched 7 innings and did not have a single pitch called a ball. Next one is swung on and missed 0-2. Dave Adams, a great control pitcher in the early 1900s. Back in 1920, pitched 21 innings at one point without issuing a walk. Swing and a miss by Willits. He's down on strikes for the second time tonight. And Livingston with number 4. Bobby with 8 strikeouts in his last start. That would have been a season high for him. That came against the Mavericks. When he beat the Quakes here on April 30th, he struck out 5 in 7 2/3 innings. Rancho last night only struck out twice. Off-speed pitch to Eric Ibar is high. Eric a strikeout in the first. Those 2 strikeouts by Rancho batters last night tied a season low for strikeouts by a Sixer pitching staff this year. Pitches upstairs 2-0. The other time they struck out just 2 in a game was also against the Quakes about 2 weeks ago. Guzman even at third. Pitch to Ibar is outside. So now they count 3-0 to Eric. Ibar third in the league with a .357 average. Actually hit over .390 in the first month of the season. Swings away 3-0 and pops it into left center field. Gary Harris says he'll take it, and he does. So the Quakes gone in order for the second time in 3 innings tonight. We will head to the 4th. This game starting out to be quite a pitcher's duel as we have no score at the end of 3.
Players aren't the only people who rely on a good night's sleep to maintain peak performance. We all do. That's why the right mattress is vital when you're shopping for a new bed. Banner Mattress has sold nearly 2 million mattresses since it opened in 1926. Why have so many people relied on Banner Mattress? Because they still make their own beds using old-world craftsmanship that was the philosophy of the company's founder. Banner Mattress has 3 San Bernardino locations on South E Street, Hospitality Lane, and South I Street.
If your home team is hungry for a mealtime winner, there's Carl Buddig. With 9 flavors like smoked turkey, honey ham, and corned beef, they've got taste and variety that won't strike out. Plus, Carl Buddig offers the convenience that keeps meal preparation time from going into extra innings. Original Carl Buddig is available in 2.5 ounce, 8 ounce, and 1 pound sizes at your local grocer. Carl Buddig, a real slice of life.
On this week's Motley Fool radio show, actor, author, and economist Ben Stein.
Hollywood is a business, but it's a great business. It is incredible fun, it pays well, and you have the feeling that you're being paid to play.
Plus, what the CEO didn't say, and your phone calls. Join us this week for the Motley Fool radio show from NPR.
Sunday afternoon at 1 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
No score at the end of 3 here at the Epicenter, game 2 of a 3-game series. Sixers are getting close to finishing a stretch in which they will have played 23 out of 31 games on the road. And right now, that stretch started with the beginning of that 13-game road trip that began in late April. So far, they've gone 12-6. So they've done pretty well, and if they can survive that stretch, they should be in pretty good shape because they will then be home for 19 of their next 23 games. And that stretch starts on the 28th of May. T.J. Bond and then Rogelstad Ballette to hit against Gene Toledo here in the 4th inning. No score in the game. Sixers have 2 hits, and Rancho has just 1. Toledo into the windup. First pitch to Bond. TJ trying to bunt. Fouls it at the plate. He was out on strikes in the second tonight. Sixer baseball made possible in part by CID, the Center for Individual Development located in San Bernardino. The CID offers a wide variety of recreation programs for people with disabilities. Bond hits one in the air, right center field, sinking very quickly, and that's going to fall in for a hit. Picked up by right fielder Rancho Melgarejo. So a leadoff hit for Bond, the first leadoff man the Sixers have had tonight. They have the best team batting average when you add up all of their leadoff at-bats this year. No one in the league has hit for a higher average. Here's Rogelstad, who tried to bunt his way aboard in the second. Actually laid down a pretty good bunt, but Gene Toledo, coming off the mound by the third baseline, was able to pick it up and throw him out. Rogelstad swinging a black-colored stick, ropes it down the right field line, just foul by maybe a foot. Could have been less than that. Right fielder Rancho Melgarejo picks it up and throws it to one of the Sixer relievers down there in the bullpen. Actually, it was Rene Rivera who flips it up into the stands. No balls and a strike to Matt Rogelstad. By the way, that number for CID is 384-5426. Outfield straight away on Rogelstad. Left-handers have given Toledo a lot of problems this year, hitting over 330. He goes to first and drives T.J. Bond back. Talking about control as we have been for a couple of innings tonight, especially as it relates to Bobby Livingston. Read about the great Carl Hubble, who back in the early 30s once pitched an 18-inning shutout and didn't walk a batter. Toledo with a pickoff throw to first that almost got away. Nice play by Mike Napoli. You know, Ferguson Jenkins is the only pitcher in history who has at least 3,000 strikeouts and less than 1,000 walks. He finished 3 shy of 1,000 walks in his career. Rogelstad taking high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tom Seaver used to say that when he had his best control, he could pitch to within a quarter inch of a spot, wherever that spot might be, 9 times out of 10. Well, Seaver, of course, a Hall of Famer. Rogelstad takes one low from Toledo, 2-1. You look at a guy like Warren Spahn, the winningest left-hander in baseball history, and his craft was very subtle. As Spahn used to say, Toledo's pitch with Bond running is a bouncer hit to the left side, smothered by Porter, the third baseman, who throws high, but Mike Napoli kept his foot on the base. Give Napoli a big assist on that one. T.J. Bond at second base now with no score in the 4th inning. Here's Peachy Bowlett, who singled with 2 outs in the second tonight. That was the first of the 3 Inland Empire hits. Warren Spahn had a pretty simple theory that is shared by many. He said hitting is timing and pitching is upsetting timing. Sandy Koufax used to always say that every pitcher's best pitch is his fastball, no matter the velocity, because it's the fastball that makes the other pitches effective. Outfield straight away on Bowlett. First pitch from Toledo high, 1 ball and no strikes. So if you're a hitter, you always have to look for a fastball and then adjust down. But as Koufax said, while the hitters are looking for the breaking pitch, the fastball is by them before they can adjust. Remember pitching coach Ray Miller? He was the pitching coach for those great Baltimore Oriole teams in the early 1970s. Toledo's 1-0 to Bowlett. Grounded to the right side, so that'll get Bond to third. Pavkovich will throw out Bowlett 4-3. First time that anyone has gotten to third for either team tonight. No score in the 4th inning. The Sixers will leave it up to Carlos Arroyo. who bounced out in his first at-bat. Carlos, 11 RBIs this year. He had a career-high 5-game RBI streak, snapped here at the Epicenter on April 30th. He has hit .333 this year with runners in scoring position. Anyway, Ray Miller had a theory that proved to be true when he looked at the numbers. Toledo's curve to Arroyo in there for a strike. All those 20-game winners the Orioles had, Miller learned that all of them threw at least 60% fastballs in the years that they had the maximum success. Arroyo is jammed, lines it softly to the shortstop, Eric Ibar. Ibar breaking towards second base, and he was almost on top of the bag when he caught it. Inland Empire gets a leadoff single from T.J. Bond and wind up leaving him at third, so we head to the bottom of the fourth here at the Epicenter tonight with no score.
A recent survey showed more people in San Bernardino County prefer the SBC Smart Yellow Pages. For shopping information, SBC Smart Yellow Pages is the most used Yellow Pages around. The SBC Smart Yellow Pages. Omnitrans is working hard to provide the public with a level of service that's bigger and better. A listing of their system-wide improvements is in your bus book if you're a current Omnitrans rider or on their website. Omnitrans operates the nation's first gasoline electric hybrid buses and over 100 buses powered by clean natural gas 7 days a week. Omnitrans will get you to work, school, or wherever life takes you with improved routes and better service. More information is at 800-966-6428 or on the web at omnitrans.org. Be smart, be safe. Omnitrans.
Hi, it's Lynn Rossetto Casper. This week we meet the mushroom who ate the world, learn how winemakers' personalities dictate the taste of their wines, and Michael Stern.
Lynn, we found an island with the sweetest soil in South Carolina.
That's the Splendid Table, the show for people who love to eat.
Tune in Sunday morning at 10 on KVCR San Bernardino.
Yes. Whatever's the wrong answer. Like a prayer, we have a tie.
Tomorrow afternoon, we will have the game for you only on internet. So you can tune in to sportsjuice.com. It will be a 2:15 start. We will start the internet broadcast about 10 minutes after. It will be right-hander Phil Wilson pitching for the Quakes, and Felix Hernandez will be on the mound for Inland Empire. So these two teams will have played their first 7 head-to-head here at the Epicenter. The Quakes will finally come to San Bernardino for the first time May the 31st to begin a 4-game series. Livingston pitching to Mike Napoli, who takes inside. Mike called out on strikes in the first inning tonight. He'll be followed by David Gates and Greg Porter. Livingston's 1-0 delivery is swung on and fouled back to even the count. Napoli, prior to this year, and he'd been in the Angel system since 2000 when he was a 17th round draft pick out of high school in Florida. He had played very little of any position other than catcher. 1-1 pitch is upstairs. Well, this year, Mike has played quite a bit at first base, though he still has caught in more games. 2-1 pitch to the slugger is fouled back 2-2. You wonder, a guy like Napoli, he is still only 22, even though he's been around a few years, but a catcher and a first baseman, if you are in the Angels organization, Livingston's 2-2 got him swinging. That was a change outside, and Napoli went for it. He is fanned twice. He does strike out a lot, even though he hits a ton, 34 strikeouts in 30 games now. And that would be 5 punch-outs for Livingston, who has gotten Willits and Napoli twice each. One away for David Gates, who grounded out to third his first time up. You know, the Angels' catcher of the future is Jeff Mathis. He is in Double-A. And doesn't figure to be going anywhere outside of the Angel organization. Their first baseman of the future, Casey Kochman, is now in Anaheim with Darren Erstad on the DL. Pitches outside to Gates 1-0. So you wonder where that leaves a guy like Mike Napoli. David Gates from Huntsville, Alabama. Swings and fouls the next one back to even the count. Gates last year hit just 195 at the epicenter. He played 75 games for the Quakes a year ago. He had started the year in the Midwest League at Cedar Rapids. Wound up hitting 15 home runs between the two teams. He's got 8 this year. He would be second on the team in home runs and in RBIs with 29. He has hit almost 300 at the epicenter this year, though. Swings and misses at the next one, and he wound up crossing into the left-hand batter's box. So Livingston ahead of Gates 1-2. Gates with 12 RBIs in May in 10 games. That is second on the team. Hit 6 home runs the first month. He's hit just 2 this month, though he's hit for a higher average. And he flails at one in the dirt. Lentz can't find it. Now he does. Fires down to Hagen to complete the strikeout. And Bobby Livingston has fanned 6 batters in 3 2/3 innings. 6 of the 11 outs. So he's just 2 shy of the season high. I'll have to double-check the press guide. I believe that Livingston's career high is 9. See if it makes a mention of it. Greg Porter now coming up to hit. Well, the Seattle media guy doesn't list anything on that, so I'll have to check the internet. At Bobby's career day by day. Porter starts to pull the trigger and takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Greg Porter, a couple of years ago, rated among the top Angel minor league prospects. He was number 23 going into 2002. Takes a curveball for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Porter played his college ball at Texas A&M. Played a lot of football as an amateur, and he looks at a strike on the outer part of the plate. Livingston ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes now. We are scoreless tonight in the bottom of the 4th inning. Porter back up there. Livingston winds and deals and misses a little bit high. Porter was drafted originally by the Reds out of high school in 1998. He was a 3rd rounder, but he wanted to play football and baseball at Texas A&M. 2-2 pitch, check swing. Did he go? Yes, says the first base umpire, Brandon Cooney. So for the second time tonight, Bobby Livingston has fanned the side. And I'll see during the commercial break if I can quickly get the numbers on Bobby to get an accurate career high for a game. But I know he's almost there. We have played 4 at the epicenter tonight and still scoreless.
San Bernardino, you could use a change. Is it time for you to change your motor oil and filters? The Public Services Department has free used oil and filter collection containers available to City of San Bernardino residents. Containers are available at City Hall at 300 North D Street. Please bring a valid ID and your current water bill, only 1 of each per household. Used motor oil may be taken to any certified recycling center in San Bernardino. For a complete listing, the number is 1-888-OIL-DROP. This program is funded by a grant from the California Integrated Waste Management Board.
We're Click and Clack the Tapper Brothers, your source for practical car advice.
You know, I would advertise it as 95 Jetta. Not a complete lemon yet.
And your source for deep insights into car owners' psyches.
I know you're looking to drive it like a nut. And you can't wait 1,000 miles. It's hard.
Join us for Car Talk.
Tune in 3 times each weekend on KVCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
As California continues to grow, so does the important underground infrastructure. Just about anywhere you dig, there could be an underground facility lying in wait. How do you avoid hitting them? The easy way, the legal way, is Dig Alert. It's the one-call notification center that supports all of Southern California. It's a simple process to help and avoid the costly errors of cutting fiber optic cables to the hazard of damaging power lines or gas pipes. For more information before you dig, 1-800-227-2600.
Napoli's home run over the scoreboard.
Looking up Bobby Livingston's career numbers, his strikeout high for a game, which he's done several times, is 8. He did it in his last start. So he's got 7 in 4 innings. We are scoreless tonight. And here in the top of the fifth, it'll be Matt Hagan, Brian Lentz, and Juan Gonzalez against Gene Toledo, who has won just once this year. That would have been his first start, so he's 0-3 in 5 starts since. But pitching pretty well. Hagan takes a strike. Matt grounded to short in the third inning. Hagan 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts last night. And right now, Matt, battling a bit of a funk, hits a pop fly into shallow right field. Melgarejo calling off Pavkovich. Makes the catch for out number 1. I'll bring up Brian Lentz, who flied to center in the third inning. Lancaster Jethawks, who we are going to see in San Bernardino next weekend, have made a handful of roster moves. They have promoted some players to Double-A El Paso. Infielder Jesus Cota, first one to Lentz inside, 1 ball and no strikes. And we saw Cota for a couple of games when the Jethawks were last in San Bernardino. Male Bannock Santana went up to Double-A, and left-handed reliever Bill White. Lentz fouls it back into the stands, 1-1. Dustin Glantz, the Jethawk closer, who had a rather difficult time in that week-long series with the Sixers, was sent down to low-A ball in South Bend to become a starting pitcher. 1-1 from Toledo. Lentz hits a soft line drive into right center. That's going to drop in for a hit, and then gets away from Melgarejo. Willits picks it up, but by the time he gets it back in, Lentz is at second base, and we'll see if that'll be a 1-1. Melgarejo coming in a little too far. Didn't have room once the ball bounced to play it well enough, and it bounced up and hit him, not behind him. That'll be the 4th Inland Empire hit, and it looks like they're going to score to double all the way. So the Sixers and the Quakes no score. Inland Empire with a runner in scoring position. The 3rd straight inning, they've had a man at least at second base. And the batter, Juan Gonzalez, who takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Gonzo, a strikeout and a single tonight. Last night, his first strikeout in 11 games. He has not driven in a run in his last 7. That would be a season high for him. Fouls the next one back to even the count 1 apiece. 4 games had been his previous longest drought for no RBIs. And he has 15 this year. Went into last night in a 3-for-20 slump, then had 3 hits, and now 1 for 2 tonight. Toledo looks back at second, and the pitch on the hands hit to right field and hit pretty deep. Melgarejo looks up, it is gone! Juan Gonzalez has hit his first home run of the year, and the Sixers lead 2-0 in the 5th inning. That is the 14th career home run that Gonzalez has hit. It is the 4th allowed this year by Toledo. He got one right in on the hands, and Gonzalez was able to turn on it and hits it out. You know, the Sixers, going into the game tonight, had hit just 6 home runs in the month of May. They had the fewest home runs of any team in the league this month. They got 2 of those 6 home runs in one game against the Mavericks earlier in the week, as Jesus Guzman takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. So Gonzalez with 5 hits in the 2 games in the series. Toledo's pitch to Guzman high, 2-0. Jesus, a fly out in the first inning and then walked in the third. Gonzalez now has 12 multi-hit games. Guzman chased a bad pitch outside, 2-1. 66ers have hit 19 home runs this year. They're in the bottom 3 in the league in homers. They're 8th. The Quakes have allowed quite a few home runs, the second most in the league, 34, and they've allowed 20 of those with runners on base. Pitches upstairs to Guzman, 3-1. Only the High Desert Mavericks have allowed more home runs with runners on base, and they're the team that has allowed the most home runs in the league. Toledo's 3-1 on the way. There's a line drive into center base hit. So after Toledo got the first out, the Sixers have 3 straight hits, A double, a home run, and now a single. Gary Harris, who was robbed of what likely would have been a 2-run scoring hit in the third inning when Reggie Willits made a great sliding catch in right center. Gary now coming up to hit. Catcher Ryan Buddy going out to the mound. To finish the thought on the Jethawk roster changes, told you about the guys they sent up and sent down. Also coming down to Lancaster is Corey Myers. Remember Corey in Lancaster 2 years ago? Had a pretty big year, had a 33-game hitting streak. Harris, a chopper hit slowly to short. Ibar goes back to second. That's the only out they'll get. But they do get the lead runner 6-4. So Guzman is out. T.J. Bond, a strikeout and a single now coming up. Corey Myers, a third baseman, first baseman outfielder, and now Arizona has decided to make him a catcher. So Corey Myers, we will see him this next coming weekend. The Jethawks also getting a pitcher by the name of Jared Liebeck. First pitch to Bond is inside, so Gene Toledo behind 1-0. Actually, Liebeck starting tomorrow. And I'm not sure if the Jethawks have a day off before they come to San Bernardino or not. Bond fouls the next one back. Pitch was a bit up and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. But Liebeck would likely start one of the games next weekend. The Jethawks activating Cliff McMacken from the disabled list. Well, making a bunch of moves. Danny Richard also coming down as Bond chased a bad pitch low and outside. TJ winds up staggering across the plate through the left-hand batter's box and is now behind 1-2. Bond 10th in the league in slugging, 5th in runs scored. Told you earlier he has the highest on-base percentage. Toledo over to first base to drive Gary Harris back. Gary Harris, by the way, has 1 steal in his last 18 games, and that came Wednesday night against High Desert. 2-0 Sixers. Bond takes one outside, 2-2. Hopefully John Nelson's injury is not very serious, and the Sixers can get him back because they really do lose a lot of power with Nelly out of the lineup. And not to mention the fact he was really hitting well when the abdominal strain forced him from the lineup. Matter of fact, when Nelson left the lineup the other day, if you go back to, let me find the exact date because I actually figured it out. Back to about the 3rd week of April. Bond grounds it to short. Ibar will feed Pavkovich for the force out, and that'll end the inning. From the 3rd week of April until Nelson went out of the lineup, May 11th was his last game, he had more hits than any other player in the California League. And he had the 5th highest RBI total. So that's what they are missing. However, here in the 5th inning, the Sixers draw first blood on a 2-run home run by Juan Gonzalez. And at the end of 4.5, they lead the Quakes 2-0.
Once again, 66ers baseball is partnering with the San Bernardino County Regional Parks. With 10 regional parks in the county, San Bernardino County Regional Parks offers camping, fishing, swimming, hiking, and a variety of special events and activities throughout the year. Catfish season runs through September, and the water parks are open from Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day weekend. For more information on the park near you, call the number at 909-38-PARKS.
The good folks at Center Chevrolet have one simple philosophy: to exceed expectations in every area as it pertains to their customers' needs. Center Chevrolet is family-owned and operated. This allows them to offer you their personal guarantee that your experience will be pleasant and you'll be greeted by a courteous and knowledgeable staff member. Center Chevrolet, serving the Inland Empire for over 50 years, is located at 1355 South East Street and on the web at centerchevrolet.com. Chevy, an American revolution.
Passport clearance accepted. Travel guide companion chosen. Destination, the world.
Oh, this job can be tough sometimes. Whether you've been there or always wanted to go, you'll be surprised at what you find. Set your course for a whole new season of Globetrotter. We'll take you there.
Monday night at 10 on KVCR TV, Channel 24.
Bobby Livingston, who generally does not need a whole lot of support, and right now has a 2-0 lead, 7 strikeouts, 1 shy of his career high. Ryan Buddy, who has the only Rancho hit tonight, takes a strike. He had a double with 2 outs in the second. He'll be followed by Pavkovich and then Melgarejo. Buddy, right-handed batter, a former 12th round draft pick of Anaheim. And Livingston gets the next one over. We told you last series that Buddy, his junior year at Oklahoma State, tore the anterior cruciate ligament just 14 games into his season. He was a preseason All-American going into that year. Livingston with a high fastball, 1-2. The Angels took a chance on him nonetheless. Buddy went through the process of attaining a medical red shirt, thinking he might return to school, but he eventually accepted the Angels' offer. 1-2 pitch, hits it off the end of the bat, high into left center and very playable. Gary Harris right there to get it. Bobby Livingston, since walking Pavkovich, who is now coming up, has retired 8 straight. You know, it's hard to say what Seattle's timetable is on Livingston. If you are a Sixer fan, obviously you would love to see Bobby here all season, but realistically speaking, that is not likely to happen. He has certainly proven he can handle the single-A level. Pavkovich takes low from Livingston, 1-0. And I would imagine, and I don't have any inside information, but my guess would be, as Pavkovich lines it to the shortstop Gonzalez, Gonzo ranging toward third, and made the catch about a step on the grass out there in left. 2 outs for Ranzo Melgarejo, who flied out in the second. I would think Seattle would probably leave Livingston with Inland Empire for most, if not all, of the first half to help him try to win the first half, and then maybe make a move after that, maybe. And again, he stayed in Wisconsin all of last year and won 15, but that was also his first full season. Melgarejo runs up the bunt, gets it down, but it's going to go foul almost halfway up the first baseline. Livingston picking it up, making sure it stayed foul, and they'll put a new ball in play. 0-1 to Melgarejo, born in Cuba and lives in Miami. The Angels signed him in 2001. He played in 4 games here in Rancho 2 years ago, and last year played 29 games here from early August to the end of the season, where he hit .261 with 1 home run. He hit about .340 at the epicenter last year. And he hits a high fly ball into right field. T.J. Bond going back a few steps. He'll make the catch, and another easy inning for Bobby Livingston. He is now retired 10 straight and is working on a 1-hit shutout through 5 innings. We go to the 6th. Inland Empire 2, Rancho Cucamonga nothing.
Toyota of Redlands is pleased to once again be partnering with the California League champion 66ers. Located at 1139 West Redlands Boulevard, Toyota of Redlands has a line of new 2004 Toyota cars and trucks, as well as certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Toyota of Redlands is part of the local community just like you and believes in personal relationships, and they're open 7 days a week. More information is at 793-0300 or on the web at toyotaofredlands.com.
During the presidential press conference, Mr. Bush's tie, seen through television cameras, created a weird, moving, hypnotic pattern. Coincidentally, polls taken afterwards showed a sudden surge of support for tax cuts for the rich, preemptive invasions of other countries, and putting Mr. Bush on the $100 bill. I'm Peter Sagal. Relax and listen very carefully to what we suggest on Wait, Don't Tell Me, the news quiz from NPR.
Sunday afternoon at 3 on KVCR, San Bernardino. Which Yellow Pages do more people in San Bernardino County use? The SBC Smart Yellow Pages, of course. They're online at smartpages.com.
Mike Sager back here at the Epicenter. Good to have you along on a Saturday night. Got a good ball game going on tonight. Sixers leading 2-0 on a home run by Juan Gonzalez in the 5th inning. They have 6 hits, while Bobby Livingston has allowed just 1. Right-hander Gene Toledo, who is throwing the ball pretty well tonight. He'll pitch to Rogelstad, Bowlett, and Arroyo. Came across an interesting rumor. Actually read it yesterday, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but with the Seattle Mariners, although they did win today, but struggling as much as they have, there was a rumor that the Red Sox and the Mariners were working on a possible trade. And according to the rumor, the trade would send outfielder Johnny Damon, starting pitcher Young Kim to the Mariners, in exchange for starting pitcher Freddie Garcia, who is in the walk year of his contract, and minor league starter and former Inland Empire pitcher Cha Sung Beck. Now, under the rumored proposal, as Rogelstad takes a knee-high strike, Matt 0 for 2, out trying to butt his way aboard and then bounce to third. Garcia would then be traded to Kansas City for outfielder Carlos Beltran. Rogelstad gets one on the hands, lifts it to straightaway center, right to Reggie Willits. One out here in the top of the 6th. That'll bring up Peachy Bowlett, who is singled and grounded out. However, Seattle general manager Bill Bavasi said that that deal was not even close to being true. You don't really see a lot of trades made early in the season because most teams are not ready to throw in the towel in the middle of May. And that's not just a trade swapping a couple of minor leaguers. There's some pretty big names there. Now that takes low from Toledo, 1 ball and no strikes. Toledo last year at Cedar Rapids, besides winning 12, had a 2.44 ERA. Next one is outside to run the count 2-0. He had one of the lowest ERAs among Angel minor leaguers. And, well, actually, you know what? Thank you, Larry. I didn't see the pitching change. James Carroll is now in the pitch. So it is Carroll, not Toledo, who is taken over in the 6th. And Peachy Bowlett takes a strike to run the count 2-1. No harm, no foul. Well, Toledo goes out, having allowed just 2 runs in 5 innings on 1 swing of the bat. Bouncer hit up the middle. Ibart, fielding it on a big hop, goes across to Napoli for the out. 2 outs here in the 6th inning for Carlos Arroyo. Arroyo has grounded out, and he has also lined out. James Carroll's last game was Wednesday, here against Visalia. Through a scoreless inning, he was called here from extended spring the 3rd week of April. Right-hander's pitch to Arroyo is a change outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So this would be the 8th appearance for Carroll, who is 1-0. He's worked in 8 innings, allowing 15 hits for a .417 average. 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. Arroyo fouls the pitch back, 1-1. He worked in 1 game against the Sixers a couple of weeks ago and gave up 2 hits and an unearned run in a no decision. Outfield just about straight away on Arroyo, and Carlos backs away from one that missed down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. We might, and it's still too early to say for sure, but we might actually have a close game tonight. The 2-1 pitch, that floats outside, 3-1. The last 5 66er games have been decided by 5 runs or more. 9 of their last 11 have been decided by no fewer than 4 runs. They've only played 3 one-run games in their last 19. Next pitch is low, so Carlos Arroyo draws a 2-out walk here in the 6th. He doesn't get too many walks. And as a matter of fact, that would be just the 6th that he has drawn this year. And 4 of the 6 walks have come in 2 games. He has drawn 2 walks in 2 different games this year. So a 2-out base runner for Matt Hagen. Matt Hagen, 0 for 2 tonight. Came in hitting 200 in the month of May. And he would now be 8 for 42 with 1 extra base hit this month. First one from Carroll outside. 13 strikeouts in his last 30 at-bats, just 3 hits over that stretch. He enters play tonight having fanned at least once in 11 straight games for a total of 17 Ks in 39 at-bats. So Big Matt looking for a couple of hits. There goes Arroyo, the pitch inside, and Ryan Buddy decides to hold on to it. So an uncontested steal for Carlos Arroyo. That would be his 3rd in 5 tries. RBI chance now for Matt Hagen, who has knocked in 12 this year. Matt hitting under 180 on the road and better than 100 points higher at home. Though he has hit 2 of his 3 home runs on the road. James Carroll with a high set looks back at second, trailing 2-0, and Hagen takes on the outside corner. 2 balls and 1 strike to Matt. Down on the farm last night, Seattle's AA San Antonio team lost 5-4 to El Paso. That would be Arizona's club. The 2-1 pitch to Hagen hit pretty well into center, but it's playable as Reggie Willits goes back to get it. That's one of the better hit balls that Hagen has had over the last couple of weeks. So even though it's an out, Matt at least made contact and hit it pretty well. And a lot of times that's how a player starts to break out of a slump before the hits actually start to fall. Carlos Arroyo left at second, and we will head to the bottom of the 6th tonight with the Sixers leading the Quakes 2-0.
Your grandparents came here. Your parents came here.
Here comes Roger Maris in the score, and Cepeda moves to second with a double.
Now it's your turn.
Number 3,000 for one of the great players of all time, George Brett.
Cooperstown, New York, a tradition of excellence for 7 decades. Be a part of it. For information, call 1-888-Hall of Fame.
At Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, they're totally committed to providing your child with the most advanced care available. They're the only children's hospital in the Inland Empire. From cuts and broken bones to cardiac care and transplants, the medical staff at Loma Linda University Children's Hospital attends to each child with love, concern, and personal attention. More information is at 800-825-KIDS. Loma Linda University Children's Hospital.
Which Yellow Pages do more people in San Bernardino County use? The SBC Smart Yellow Pages, of course. They're online at smartpages.com.
All right, here we go. The line is pushing it. Brandon underneath it. He's keeping his eye. There's number 2.
Bobby Livingston has held the Quakes to 1 hit tonight in 5 scoreless innings and has a 2-0 lead going to the bottom of the 6th. When Juan Gonzalez hit that 2-run homer in the 5th inning, that was the first time that Rancho has trailed in a game in their last 5. Remember, they won 4 straight coming in, and it's the first time in the Sixers' last 5 road games that they have had a lead. The Quakes, during their 4-game winning streak, hitting .336. Had 15 hits last night, 1 shy of their season high, 7 of those extra base hits. And over their last 10 games, Rancho averaging better than 7 runs a game and hitting .296. B.J. Weed, who popped to short in the 3rd inning, leads off, and Livingston starts him upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Weed to be followed by Reggie Willits, and then Eric Ibar. B.J., an all-star in the Midwest League last year. Corners are in, and the next one is upstairs to run the count 2-0. B.J. hit over .300 the first 2 months last year, but then from June till the end of the year hit barely over .220. And he takes high, so Livingston quickly behind him 3-0. Bobby, 1 walk tonight. That's the only walk he has issued over his last 3 starts. Weed waiting, and the 3-0 delivery is in there for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike. BJ out of Jacksonville University. James Dennis Weed. His full name, has 3 sisters. And he grounds one up the middle. There's a base hit, just the second of the night for the Quakes. First time they have had a leadoff man reach. So Weed is aboard for Reggie Willits, the switch hitter who has fanned twice tonight. Reggie entering the game with 3 straight 2-hit games. His 2 strikeouts tonight will give him 11 over his last 10 games. Came in hitting .256 and about .290 at the epicenter. Livingston's pitch, swung on and missed, 0-1. Started telling you about Double-A San Antonio last night, losing to El Paso 5-4. Marlon Williams, the speedy center fielder who was in Lancaster last year, had 2 triples and wound up scoring the game-winning run in the 8th inning on a pass ball. Tim Rawl wound up the loser in relief. Livingston's 0-1 is a bouncer to short. Gonzalez down to Rogelstad. He goes to Hagen, who stretches out, and they turn the double play. Matt Hagen doing the splits over there at first base. For the 66ers, that is only the 11th double play they have turned this year. That would be the 21st that the Quakes have grounded into. And it would be the 3rd that Willits has grounded into. Remember, last night, Rancho turned a triple play. Their first in 4 years. Eric Ibar now at the plate. One of the top Angel prospects, takes one low and inside, 1-0. Ibar from this side of the plate is only hitting about 150. Line drive to the shortstop, Gonzalez. So the inning is over, and because of the double play, Livingston only faces 3 batters. Gives up just a second hit of the night. And we will head to the 7th inning at the epicenter. It's the Sixers 2 and the Quakes nothing.
Make a difference. Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Community Hospital of San Bernardino's dedicated team of physicians, nurses, and general health care professionals have been serving the local community for nearly 100 years. They provide medical care that's both state-of-the-art and straight from the heart. They're located on Medical Center Drive between Highland and Baseline. Community Hospital of San Bernardino, the relief specialist. Information is available at 1-877-CHW-DOCS.
On April 18, 1906, in the city known as the Paris of the West, the earth trembled, buildings burned, corrupt politicians covered up the facts, and Enrico Caruso sang. A new novel tells the story of the great San Francisco earthquake and fire, Sunday on All Things Considered from NPR News.
At 5 p.m. on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Inland Empire leading the Quakes by a 2-0 score. We go to the 7th inning. Meanwhile, in Lancaster tonight, the Jethawks have taken a 3-2 lead over Visalia. Jethawks entering play tonight, trailing Inland Empire by 2 games in the South. Lake Elsinore and High Desert are tied at 4 in the 7th inning. The Mavericks have lost 7 straight. San Jose and Stockton are scoreless in the 6th inning in Stockton. And in Bakersfield, they're in the top of the 5th inning. And Modesto has a 2-1 lead over the Bakersfield Blaze. Sixers coming in at 10 games above 500. They entered last night a season-high 11 games over. So obviously, if they do hold on and win tonight, they would wind up matching their high water mark. Brian Lentz to lead off here against James Carroll. Brian doubled and scored on Gonzalez's home run in the 5th inning. 1 for 2, and he swings it. The first pitch doesn't get it. By the way, I read today where former San Bernardino reliever Aaron Looper is going to have season-ending Tommy John surgery. Lentz out in front of the next pitch, 0-2. So our best of luck to Aaron Looper indeed. Double-A San Antonio losing 4-2 in the 4th inning tonight at El Paso. The 2-strike pitch from Carroll is outside and low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Read a funny story the other day. I guess it wasn't funny at the time, but those of you who have followed the team for several years remember one of the former managers, Dino Ebel, managed the championship team in 2000 in San Bernardino. 1-2 pitch. Lentz pops it up on the left side. Eric Ibar going out to the outfield. The shortstop now under it, puts it away for the out. 1 away for Juan Gonzalez, who is responsible for the only 2 runs of the game tonight. Gonzo, a 2-run homer off Gene Toledo on a pitch right on the hands. Hit it over the right field fence. He is also singled. So 5 hits in the series. Not sure if it's a coincidence or not, but Gonzalez certainly has enjoyed hitting here at the epicenter. First one to him is outside. Gonzo is now 14 for 27 with 7 RBIs in the 6 games here. 1-0 pitch from Carroll inside. Gonzalez showing bunt, almost got hit by it. So it's now 2-0. Anyway, Dino Ebel has been managing the Dodgers Double-A team in Jacksonville, Florida for the last the last 2 years, maybe 3. Carroll's 2-0 again inside, 3-0. Well, a year ago, and I remember talking about this on the air, that Jacksonville team gained national attention when their team bus broke down returning from a road trip in Alabama. 3-0 pitch way inside. Carroll didn't come close. Third time that Gonzalez has reached tonight. I'm going to bring up Jesus Guzman, who has flied out, walked, and singled. The Jacksonville players, when that happened last year, had to find sleeping space on a cement pavement parking lot. Well, it wasn't a concrete surface this time, but the frustration and weariness from little or no sleep matched that of a year ago. It happened a week ago last night, and it started about 11 p.m. Bouncer hit by Guzman to short. Ibar to second. Pavkovich to first. Napoli can't dig it out. So that'll keep the inning alive, 6-4. Guzman now at first for Gary Harris, who is 0 for 3 tonight. A week ago last night, the Jacksonville Suns boarded their charter bus following a game in Mobile, Alabama. Turned out to be the second fastest Jacksonville game they played this year. Their bus driver had closed the doors, put the gear shift in drive, and the bus went just a handful of feet. The driver got out, and he saw the power steering fluid was gushing out from underneath the bus. Outfield toward the left on Harris. Left-handed batter takes outside from Carroll, 1-0. So the Suns players, coaching staff, team reps went back into the locker room. The early word is it would only take about an hour to take the bus to a nearby truck stop to get it fixed. Harris takes low, 2-0. Well, that hour turned into 4 hours. The players who were playing cards and video games began looking for sleeping space around the ballpark in Mobile. Finally, at 3:15 in the morning, manager Dino Ebel received word that the bus was fixed and was on its way back to the ballpark. Harris lines it into center base hit. Guzman will make the turn and get back to second base just ahead of the throw. So 2 on, 2 out. Sixers leading 2-0 here in the 7th. That'll bring up T.J. Bond, who is 1 for 3. So everyone, the players who were asleep, were awoken. Everyone went outside the ballpark to wait for the bus, and the supposed 10-minute wait turned into 4 more hours before the bus finally pulled up. The reason for it, believe it or not, as the bus was leaving the truck stop, it broke down again, and it had to go back for more repairs. So finally, with a patched-up power steering hose and whatever else they had to do, Keith Comstock, the pitching coach, now going to the mound. The Jacksonville bus left the ballpark in Mobile, Alabama at 7:30 in the morning, 8.5 hours later than originally scheduled. They did not arrive in Montgomery, Alabama until 2 p.m. last Saturday, which was just 6 hours before their scheduled game. Well, after all of the delays and frustration, Jacksonville finally caught a break because their game last Saturday night wound up being rained out, so the team could finally get a good night's rest. They wound up having to play a doubleheader last Sunday. Poor Dino Evil, 2 years in a row, bad trouble on the road. And it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Dino, a very bright baseball man. T.J. Bond waiting. Carroll's pitch to him, in there for a strike, 0-1. Sixers with 2 on and 2 outs here in the 7th, leading 2-0. T.J. Bond, 19 RBIs this year. He has 5 in his last 3 games. Carroll's pitch is a fastball inside, 1 ball and a strike. Bond has knocked in 10 runs in May. In 13 games, he had 12 RBIs in April in 21 games. He had a 3 RBI game here at the Epicenter April 30th. That remains his season high. And he takes low to run the count 2-1. James Carroll, a right-hander from Texas who played his college ball at Pepperdine in Southern California. Beautiful campus right there on the beach. He was signed as a free agent in June of last year. Breaking ball in for a strike, 2-2 to Bond. Only pitched in 8 games for Pepperdine a year ago, but he had a good rookie season pitching for 2 different Angel farm teams. All in relief, he had a 2.70 ERA in 27 games and a strikeout to walk ratio better than 2-1. So he's making his first stop in the California League. And not too terribly far from where he went to school. It's all relative. It'll still take you a couple hours to get to Pepperdine from here. Next one to Bond is ripped down the left field line. Is it going to stay fair or go foul? It will go foul in the Rancho bullpen. Wound up going foul by plenty, but while it was in the air, it was somewhat in doubt, at least from our angle. TJ checking the bat handle to make sure he didn't crack it. So Harris back to first, Guzman to second. 2 out, top of the 7th, 2-0 Inland Empire, as they try to snap Rancho's 4-game winning streak, and at the same time snap their 4-game road losing streak and get back to 500 on the road. Outfield straight away on big TJ, 6'5", and Carroll missing inside, so now the count is full, and that means with 2 outs, Guzman and Harris will have a head start from second and first. Rancho at 500, getting there last night. You know, with their win last night, it was the first time this year the Quakes have reached the 500 mark at home. Runners go, 3-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back. TJ, in fact, fouled it off his foot. The Quakes are 9-9 at the Epicenter, so they had not been at 500 at home at any point. Their victory last night got their overall record to 500 for the first time since April the 29th, when they were 10-10. They have not been above 500 since April 28th, when they were 10-9. Ball boy bringing out a few new ones for the home plate umpire, Jeremy Sparling. James Carroll standing on the first base side of the mound, now back on top. Matt Rogelstad waiting his turn on deck. Runners about ready to go again with a full count. And the pitch on the way to Bond got him swinging. Little off-speed pitch on the hands. TJ fans for the second time tonight. He left one runner in the 5th inning. He winds up stranding 2 here in the 7th. And that would be the first strikeout for James Carroll. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Here at the epicenter, it's the Sixers 2 and Rancho Cucamonga nothing.
Hello, fine people of the world. It's me again, letting you know about the features of the Verizon Super Pages. You see, the Verizon Super Pages is the only Yellow Pages that's with you wherever you go. The Super Pages is on the Internet. The Super Pages can be downloaded to your cell phone. Other books just sit at home in a dusty drawer, weeping like a little girl who just ate too much Halloween candy. Well, I, on the other hand, am Wiley.
Online, on your cell, in the book, the Verizon Super Pages. Wherever you are, there it is. Omnitrans is working hard to provide the public with a level of service that's bigger and better. A listing of their system-wide improvements is in your bus book if you're a current Omnitrans rider or on their website. Omnitrans operates the nation's first gasoline electric hybrid buses and over 100 buses powered by clean natural gas 7 days a week. Omnitrans will get you to work, school, or wherever life takes you with improved routes and better service. More information is at 800-966-6428 or on the web at omnitrans.org. Be smart, be safe. Omnitrans.
Baseball season is at hand, and movie guy Kevin Murphy has been thinking about the sport, but not Field of Dreams or The Natural. I'm Brian Naylor. Sunday on Weekend Edition from NPR News, Murphy looks at 2 baseball films dealing with real ball players with real lives and human complexities. Also another slice of Americana, Woody Guthrie, revealed in a new biography.
Sunday morning on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Bobby Livingston was leading the California League in innings pitched heading into his start tonight. He has shut the Quakes out on 2 hits through 6 innings. And due up here in the bottom of the 7th, number 3 hitter Mike Napoli, who was fanned twice. And the first pitch to him is in there for a strike, 0-1. Back on April 30th, when Livingston beat the Quakes here, Napoli was 1 for 3 against them with a double. And a breaking ball is outside to Mike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Napoli, a career .249 hitter in his first 4 years, lost a lot of weight, got into better shape during the offseason. Ground ball hit to short. Gonzalez over to his right to get it, goes across to Hagan. 1 away here in the 7th inning. And the batter will be David Gates. The fewest hits the Sixers have allowed in a game this year is 3. Livingston, a 6-inning 2-hitter, hasn't really made too many pitches. And if he can get through the 7th and not make too many, he would probably be able to pitch another inning. David Gates, a ground out and a strikeout tonight. David this year hitting .300 when he has DH'd for Bobby Meacham, swings and doesn't get it, 0-1. He has hit in 14 of his last 15, and he comes in having hit safely in his last 11 games at the epicenter. Outfield straight away, Livingston waiting on Gates to get back in there. Bobby now ready, and the 0-1 pitch. Outside, swung on and missed. Change up, Gates around early. David, 6'1", 200 pounds. He finished 3rd among Angel minor leaguers in home runs last year when he hit those 15. He had a 2-home run game against the Seattle Midwest League affiliate, Wisconsin, last year. Livingston's 2-strike pitch. That's outside. Bobby only made 1 start against that Cedar Rapids team last year, and it was a beauty. It came at the end of July on the road. 1-2 pitch. Gates chases one down and away. So he strikes out for the second time, and that would be number 8 for Livingston. That ties his career high, and it's his first strikeout in 3 innings. Greg Porter, who has grounded out and struck out, is now coming up to hit for Rancho. Greg Porter hit .331 his first year in the Angels system in 01. Takes a strike from Livingston on the outside corner. When he was at Texas A&M playing football, he spent part of his time catching passes from quarterback Mark Ferris, who was a #1 draft pick of the Pirates in 1994. There's another strike called, 0-2. But Porter never hit very well in college. A lot of people thought he was the best athlete to play in the Summer Cape Cod League in 2000. Signed as a 45th round draft pick of the Angels. Then he returned for the latter part of his senior football season at Texas A&M, and he takes a curveball strike 3 call. And Bobby Livingston, with a new career high, 9 strikeouts tonight, has been absolutely phenomenal on the mound in 7 scoreless innings. He has fanned Porter, Gates, Napoli, and Willett twice apiece. So we go to the 8th inning here at the epicenter. It's the Sixers 2, Rancho nothing.
San Bernardino, you could use a change. Is it time for you to change your motor oil and filters? The Public Services Department has free used oil and filter collection containers available to City of San Bernardino residents. Containers are available at City Hall at 300 North D Street. Please bring a valid ID and your current water bill, only 1 of each per household. Used motor oil may be taken to any certified recycling center in San Bernardino. For a complete listing, the number is 1-888-OIL-DROP. This program is funded by a grant from the California Integrated Waste Management Board.
If your home team is hungry for a mealtime winner, there's Carl Buddig. With 9 flavors like smoked turkey, honey ham, and corned beef, they've got taste and variety that won't strike out. Plus, Carl Buddig offers the convenience that keeps meal preparation time from going into extra innings. Original Carl Buddig is available in 2.5 ounce, 8 ounce, and 1 pound sizes at your local grocer. Carl Buddig, a real slice of life.
I'm Brooke Gladstone. Rwanda's new media law won't tolerate intolerance. This week we consider how new rules that discourage speech about ethnicity muzzle the media there. Also, what the Massachusetts Supreme Court has in common with The Sims, and technology that helps you lie on your cell phone. That and more on the next edition of NPR's On the Media.
Sunday afternoon at 4 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Right-hander Richard Thompson is going to take over on the hill for the Quakes here in the 8th inning. Thompson, the second reliever used by Bobby Meacham tonight. James Carroll did a nice job with 2 scoreless innings and kept the score at 2-0. Sixers in the 8th inning will have Rogelstad, Vallette, and Arroyo. Inland Empire getting their 2 runs in the 5th inning. They have not lost a game this year when they have had a lead at the end of 5. They are 19-0. And that would be the best record in the league. That Rogelstad, who is 0 for 3, the first man up against Richard Thompson, who gave up 1 run in 2/3 of an inning on Thursday in his last game. He walked 2. He has allowed 3 hits to the first man he has faced when coming out of the bullpen. Rogelstad takes a strike. Thompson, a young kid from Australia. In 14 games, Richard is 1-1 with 2 saves. The league hitting in the mid-260s. Rogelstad hits an inside pitch in front of the Inland Empire dugout, located on the first base side. No balls, 2 strikes. When the Sixers lost last night's game 11-5, that was a rarity, because when the Sixers have scored at least 5 runs in a game this year, they have won 16 of 18, and they had won the previous 13 times. Well, they have just 2 runs tonight, but that's all they've needed so far. 1 hopper hit by Rogelstad down to second. Pavkovich will go to first to get the out. 1 away in the 8th inning for Peachy Vallette, who is 1 for 3.
Number 26.
Quakes with a good effort from their pitchers tonight. The pitching staff with a 2.44 ERA in their last 5 games. The starters had a 2.29 ERA in the last 6 games. And this is a Rancho team that, entering play tonight, had allowed the 2nd most runs in the league. almost 6 runs a game, a little less than that. Mallette fouls it off first base out of play behind the seating bowl. No balls and 1 strike. Quake pitchers allowing a .289 batting average. That would be the second highest. The 4th most walks allowed. The 2 runs, 7 hits allowed tonight, yet they're getting beat on a 2-hit shutout by Bobby Livingston. Mallette back in there, and Thompson into the windup deals. Fastball low and inside. 1 ball and a strike to Peachy. Serving as the designated hitter, which is usually where he plays when he is in the starting lineup. 18 games DHing this year. Big breaking ball on the inside corner. Thompson, that's one of his bread and butter pitches. That's what got him signed. He has 2 curves, one that he throws about 78, the other about 72, that has one of those big 12 to 6 o'clock breaks to it. This time he misses away with a fastball, 3-2. The Angels scouted Thompson at a national tournament 2 years ago. They signed him for a $50,000 bonus. There were 5 other teams trying to sign him. Outfield straight away, Buddy setting a target. And now the 2-2 pitch to Ballette. Low and outside. Carlos Arroyo on deck. Thompson gave up 7 earned runs in 23 innings in his first year in the Arizona Rookie League. And then he gave up 1 earned run in 38 innings at Cedar Rapids last year before he got promoted. Mallette out in front of one, grounds it to third. Greg Porter back of the line, throws high, but Napoli stays on the bag. 2 gone in the 8th. And here's Carlos Arroyo, who has grounded out, lined out, and then walked his last time up. Number 7 hitter in the order. Carlos had been hitting at the bottom of the order his last couple of games. Mainly because the Sixers were facing left-handed starters. Thompson's pitch, Arroyo runs up the bunt, takes a strike. Last year when Thompson was in Cedar Rapids before he got promoted here to Rancho, he allowed a 140 batting average and struck out 54 batters in 38 innings. Arroyo takes a little bit outside and low, 1-1. When he was growing up in Australia, played all kinds of sports, cricket, rugby, soccer. He also played Australian rules football. Arroyo pops it up back to third out of play, 1-2. His parents first tried to sign him up for a T-ball team when he was 5, although his parents weren't really clear on the concept of baseball. Thompson's still just a kid. He will not be 20 until July. Arroyo looks at one low, and the count at 2-2. 2-0 Inland Empire. Here in the 8th inning, second game of a 3-game series. We've got a 2:15 game here tomorrow. We'll carry it for you internet only. Arroyo swings at a pitch downstairs. There's one of those breaking balls, and Thompson gets the strikeout. Inland Empire gone in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th here at the epicenter. It's the Sixers 2 and the Quakes 0.
Toyota of Redlands is pleased to once again be partnering with the California League champion 66ers. Located at 1139 West Redlands Boulevard, Toyota of Redlands has a line of new 2004 Toyota cars and trucks, as well as certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Toyota of Redlands is part of the local community just like you and believes in personal relationships, and they're open 7 days a week. More information is at 793-0300 or on the web at toyotaofredlands.com.
A recent survey showed more people in San Bernardino County prefer the SBC Smart Yellow Pages. For shopping information, SBC Smart Yellow Pages is the most used Yellow Pages around. The SBC Smart Yellow Pages.
Hi, I'm Kai Risdahl. All financial advice is not created equal. Just ask Sound Money's Chris Farrell.
I love Stephen Roach. He's a wonderful man. But this time, he's certifiably off the wall. I'm steamed up at Lou Dobbs. Donald, you're fired.
Chris examines the week's business news to tell you what is smart, what is stupid, and what's the straight story. It's only on Sound Money, the money show for the rest of us.
Sunday at 12 noon on KVCR San Bernardino.
Bobby Livingston on opening night pitched 8 innings against Lake Elsinore. He went 7 2/3 when he pitched here against the Quakes on April 30th. And here he is beginning the 8th inning, working on a 2-hit shutout. Back on the 25th of April, when he beat the Lancaster Jethawks in San Bernardino, Livingston allowed 1 hit in 7 scoreless innings that night. Bobby, so far in his first 7 starts, has not allowed a run in 3 of them. This might wind up being the 4th if he keeps the Quakes off the board. He has retired the last 5. He has walked 1, allowed 2 hits, and Ryan Buddy, who has 1 of those hits, a second inning double, climbs in. Takes 1 upstairs, 1-0. No one throwing in the Sixer bullpen. Livingston has not made a ton of pitches, even though he has 9 strikeouts tonight. Bobby into the windup, and the 1-0 pitch to Buddy. That's in there for a strike, 1-1. Ryan hitting just .213 at the epicenter. Has 15 strikeouts in his last 15 games, reaches out for 1 and pops it up to Matt Hagan. First baseman right up on the edge of the grass makes the catch. 1 away in the 8th for Adam Pavkovich. 66ers this year have thrown a total of 3 shutouts. So trying for number 4. If you're wondering about the Quakes this year, they have not been shut out. If you go back to last year, as Pavkovich takes high, he has walked and lined to short tonight. The last 2 regular season games last year, the Sixers shut the Quakes out here in Rancho. The Quakes had not been shut out at home all year until then. The 1-0 pitch, Pavkovich takes high, 2 balls and no strikes. So it has been a well-pitched game for both sides tonight. Juan Gonzalez, 2-run homer in the 5th inning, the only runs of the game. Livingston winds, and the 2-0 to Pavkovich is driven high into left field, but Arroyo has a play on it. Carlos well shy of the warning track. There to get it, so 2 gone in the 8th. And here's Rancho Melgarejo. Melgarejo tonight has flied to right fielder T.J. Bond twice. The fewest number of hits the Quakes have had in a game this year came on May 2nd here against Inland Empire. They had 6. The pitch to Melgarejo, check swing. Did he go? No. 1 ball and no strikes. What a tremendous outing for Bobby Livingston. You know, you almost come to expect it, and you almost forget that he, like the rest of us, is human. Breaking ball in for a strike to Melgarejo, but he has not shown any signs of being human on the mound. Absolutely fabulous. Hagan backing up a little bit at first, and the 1-1 pitch to Melgarejo. Little bouncer hit wide, a first base foul. It's interesting to note that on a night when Livingston is firing a 2-hit shutout, this is an anniversary of a lot of great pitching performances in baseball history. The first American League shutout was recorded on this day in 1901. Walter Johnson threw an 18-inning shutout against the White Sox on this day in 1918. Ground ball hit back a third base foul, so Melgarejo now behind 1 ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander Virgil Trucks of the Tigers threw the first of his 2 no-hitters. On this day in 1952, he did it against Washington. Livingston's 1-2 to Melgarejo. There's a little ground ball hit to short. Gonzalez in to get it. He goes to Hagan, and the shutout good through 8 tonight. Bobby Livingston has retired 8 straight. There is no one moving in the Sixer bullpen, so I would say that right now we might be looking at Livingston going out there to try to complete it. At the end of 8 innings here at the epicenter, Sixers 2, Rancho nothing.
This week, From the Top combines a wonderful lineup of young musicians with the power of the Pittsburgh Symphony. Join me, Joanne Robinson, and From the Top's host, Christopher O'Reilly, for our first time ever collaboration with this fantastic orchestra. We'll hear the music of Debussy, Tchaikovsky, even a piece by a composer who's just 11 years old. That's From the Top this week, brought to you by PRI, Public Radio International.
Tune in Sunday night at 8 on KVCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
Evening, gentlemen. Can I see some ID, please?
But I'm bald.
So's my 2-month-old son.
But I have dentures, eh?
You should have brushed harder.
Look, I've got my senior citizen's bus pass right here.
I'm afraid that's not a picture ID, sir.
World War I dog tags.
Sorry, soldier.
You can't be too careful about stopping underage drinking. So here's to everyone who checks ID. Thanks to you, teen drinking is down by 47%.
Picture of me with President Coolidge.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
The good folks at Center Chevrolet have one simple philosophy: to exceed expectations in every area as it pertains to their customers' needs. Center Chevrolet is family-owned and operated. This allows them to offer you their personal guarantee that your experience will be pleasant and you'll be greeted by a courteous and knowledgeable staff member. Center Chevrolet, serving the Inland Empire for over 50 years, is located at 1355 South East Street and on the web at centerchevrolet.com. Chevy, an American revolution.
And ladies and gentlemen, all game long, you can show yourself the 5-star Monday tag.
Right-hander Matt Wilhite taking over for the Quakes here as we go to the 9th inning. Inland Empire leading by a 2-0 score. Both runs coming in the 5th. James Carroll and Richard Thompson combining for 3 scoreless innings behind Rancho starter Gene Toledo. He would be the pitcher of record for them. Due up here in the 9th inning, Hagen, Lentz, and Gonzalez. This would be the 3rd time that Hagen has led off an inning tonight. Matt 0 for 3. Wilhite, sidearm delivery and a ground ball hit to short. Eric Ivar up with it cleanly, gets the throw to first. 1 pitch and 1 away. 5 straight Sixers have now been retired. And the batter will be Brian Lentz. Wilhite's last game was Wednesday here against Visalia. Gave up 3 hits and 2 runs in 2 innings. Wilhite 2-1 in 14 games in relief. His ERA 6.33. He has given up 27 hits in 22 innings. Lentz takes low 1-0. 7 walks and 17 strikeouts. This would be the 2nd time the Sixers have seen him. Wilhite threw a scoreless inning in his other appearance. Drops down to the side and gets a strike over to Lentz, 1-1. Also on this day in baseball, in 1960, Don Cardwell, after being traded from the Phillies, made his debut with the Cubs by no-hitting the Cardinals. Wilhite's 1-1 pitch, low and outside. And in doing so, Cardwell became the first pitcher to throw a no-hitter in his first start after a trade. Nolan Ryan no-hit Kansas City on this day in 1973, the first of his record 7 no-hitters. Wound up throwing another one 2 months later. Len Barker of Cleveland threw his perfect game on this day in 1981. 2-1 the count to Lentz, 2-0 Sixers here in the 9th inning. And Bryan starts to go, and he gets called for a strike. Wilhite now with a 2-2 count on the Sixer backstop. (1991) on this day, the Red Sox and White Sox played the longest 9-inning game in history, 4 hours and 11 minutes. Check swing, Lentz went for one that wound up about 2 feet off the plate outside. The Bryan fans, 2 outs in the 9th for Juan Gonzalez, whose first home run of the year in the 5th inning provided the only runs of the game. He has reached base 3 times tonight, Walked in the 7th, homered in the 5th, singled in the 3rd after striking out to start the game. Outfield straight away on the switch hitter, batting left-handed. And the pitch outside, 1-0. Joe DiMaggio started his record 56-game hitting streak on this day in 1941. Will Height from the stretch. Drops one low, bounces up there, and Buddy knocks it down in front. 2-0 to Gonzo. Cincinnati in 1919 was playing a game against Brooklyn. There was no score at the end of 12, and then the Reds scored 10 runs in the 13th inning. Won the game 10-zip. Gonzalez takes outside, and the count now 3-0. I asked Gonzo during the pregame interview tonight, for those who missed it, I said, you know, I've noticed you like to chase the first pitch of the game a lot, being that he's a leadoff hitter. He takes a strike, 3-1. And he said, yeah, but, you know, I've noticed that word is starting to get around, and I'm starting to see more curveballs and change-ups for the first pitch of the game. So I've got to learn to adjust and not just jump at the first pitch. Next one is outside, so he's been on base 4 times tonight, drawing 2 walks. 2 for 3, 2 walks for the leadoff hitter, and now Jesus Guzman, who is 1 for 3. He, too, has walked once. Guzman, with his walk tonight, has drawn 7 in his last 6 games. He has drawn 12 walks with the Sixers. That's as many times as he has struck out. Not too shabby for a kid. First one from Will Height on the outside corner. Guzman has hit safely in 8 of his last 9 starts, going 11 for 30. And because he's been getting on base so much, he has been scoring a lot of runs. The only player who has scored more runs for the Sixers this month is Juan Gonzalez, who has scored 15. Guzman has crossed the plate 13 times. 2-0 Sixers in the 9th. Will Height quickly turns, goes to first, and not in time to get Gonzalez. Rancho, when they hit in the 9th, and it will be against Livingston because there is no one down in the Sixer pen, B.J. Weed, Reggie Willits, and Eric Ibar. Will Height leans in to get a sign from Ryan Buddy. And now the 0-1 with Gonzalez going is outside. Bad throw to second base. The throw was over the head of Eric Ibar, but Adam Pavkovich, the second baseman, backed it up and caught it before it went into center field. So Gonzalez, for the 3rd time this year, has 2 steals in a game. That would match his career high. He has never had more than 2 in a game. 13th time in his career he has done it. And he now has a team high 11 this year. RBI chance for young Jesus Guzman. Backs out with a 1-1 count. Will Height looking in to get a sign. Will Height, 6'1", about 190 pounds. And the 1-1 pitch, sidearm, inside corner for a strike. 1-2. Will Height from Franklin, Kentucky, signed as a free agent by the Angels in June of last year, a couple of weeks after the draft. The 1-2 pitch to Guzman is fouled off to the right and out of play. Hope to see you at the ballpark next week. Sixers home next Friday, 50-cent Friday against the Jethawks, then the famous chicken plus a fireworks show a week from tonight. Jethawks, second-place team, so it ought to be a good series. And if you missed the announcement earlier, they have it set up now to where you can actually order your 66er tickets online. So you don't even have to leave the house. IE66ers.com is the website. You can pick out your seat, use your credit card, order them online, and then pick them up later. 2-0 Sixers in the 9th. Gonzo out there at second. Guzman with a 1-2 count. And Will Height's pitch, outside corner, got him looking. So Matt Will Height fans 2 in the inning. Gonzalez stranded at second, and we go to the bottom of the ninth, where Bobby Livingston will try to become the first 66er pitcher to throw a complete game this year. At the end of 8.5 innings, Sixers 2, Rancho nothing.
Once again, 66ers baseball is partnering with the San Bernardino County Regional Parks. With 10 regional parks in the county, San Bernardino County Regional Parks offers camping, fishing, swimming, hiking, and a variety of special events and activities throughout the year. Catfish season runs through September, and the water parks are open from Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day weekend. For more information on the park near you, call the number at 909-38-PARKS.
Which Yellow Pages do more people in San Bernardino County use? The SBC Smart Yellow Pages, of course. They're online at smartpages.com.
On this week's Motley Fool radio show, actor, author, and economist Ben Stein.
Hollywood is a business, but it's a great business. It is incredible fun, it pays well, and you have the feeling that you're being paid to play.
Plus, what the CEO didn't say, and your phone calls. Join us this week for the Motley Fool radio show from NPR.
Sunday afternoon at 1 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Each of the last two games that Livingston has started, and he has won them both, have immediately followed a 66er loss. And after Juan Sandoval got punched around by the Quakes here last night, Livingston has pitched a gem of a game tonight and carries a 2-0 two-hitter into the bottom of the ninth. Just in case, they're going to have someone ready down in the bullpen, and it is left-hander Melvin Pizarro who is starting to throw. B.J. Weed, who has popped up and singled, one of two Rancho hits tonight, will lead off in the ninth. And Livingston's first pitch to Weed is upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Livingston, in his career, this would be his third year, Bobby has one complete game, and that came in his final start last year in Wisconsin. Sixers have the corners in, and the next one upstairs to run the count 2-0. He threw a 9-inning, 6-hit gem against, well, let me see who that was there. Next one in for a strike. That was Kane County. And he allowed just one unearned run in that start. Last year at Wisconsin, Livingston pitched at least 8 innings, 8 different times in 26 games. 2-1 pitch. Drops inside and low to run the count 3-1. B.J. Weed, second-year player, born and raised in the state of New York. Trying to get on base here as the 3-1 pitch from Livingston is high. So a leadoff man is aboard for the Quakes. Second time tonight. Both times it has been B.J. Weed. Now, I don't know what Livingston's pitch count is at the moment. The pitch counts, now that we're into May, a little bit higher than they were just even a couple of weeks ago. Generally speaking, as a rule of thumb, though, even if the pitcher is below his pitch limit, Darren Brown will make his decision as the pitch is inside to Reggie Willits. Darren Brown will make his decision based on how close to the limit that pitcher is. So let's say the pitch count limit is 90. If you finish an inning and you're at 85, Darren is not going to let you go out for the next inning. Big chopper over third. Barehanded by Gonzalez, who has no play, though, and the Quakes have 2 on in the ninth inning. Infield hit for Reggie Willits, and now the Quakes' top hitter as far as average coming up in Eric Ibar. Eric is 0 for 3 tonight, struck out, flied out, and lined to short. And we can look back to the other game that Livingston pitched against the Quakes on April 30th. And Ibar was 0 for 3 with a walk against him in that game. So Eric is 0 for 6 when he has faced Livingston. We will see if Bobby Meacham asks Ibar to bunt with the tying run at first base. You got a guy hitting .357. He does have 3 sacrifice bunts. That would be tied for the team high. Eric had a 3-hit game here last night. And he shows bunt. And did he foul it? No, it just got away, and the runners move up. And Brian Lentz can't believe it. He's going to bark at the plate umpire, Jeremy Sparling. And now they're going to say Ibar was hit by the pitch. And now Darren Brown is going to race out. Bobby Livingston is jawing at the plate umpire. Darren's going to step in between. So Jeremy Sparling is going to say that inside pitch got a piece of Eric Ibar, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. Darren's going to lose the argument. All of a sudden now, what had been a great game for Bobby Livingston kind of hangs in the balance with a 2-0 lead, but nobody out, and the bases loaded in the 9th inning. And guess who's coming up? Mike Napoli, who is the league leader in home runs and RBIs this year. He has struck out twice and grounded out. He has 4 hits in 22 at-bats against Inland Empire this year. He got 2 of those last night. When he has faced a left-hander this year prior to tonight, Napoli had hit .429. Infield playing for 2, and a ground ball hit to third. Guzman coming home, they get 1, and that's all they get. They might have been able to try the old 5-4-3 and then allow a run to score, although that would have put the tying run at third. So 1 away in the bottom of the 9th. That is a 5-2 fielder's choice. B.J. Weed is out. Willits is now at third. Ibar the tying run at second. Napoli the winning run at first. And David Gates, who has grounded out and struck out twice, but is still a dangerous hitter, coming up to the plate. Gates, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs. Livingston's first pitch to him. In the dirt, gets away from Lentz. 1 run will score. Everybody else moves up 90 feet. So a wild pitch on Bobby Livingston, his second of the year, brings in a run to make it 2-1 Inland Empire. Now you have the tying run at third and the winning run at second, which means a base hit to the outfield might win it, although it's Napoli at second base. And while Mike has been a tremendous hitter, he is not the fastest runner on the team. The Sixers are going to bring the infield in. Livingston from the stretch, pitches home, and a ground ball to short. Gonzalez drops it, picks it up, goes to first to get the out, but Rancho has tied it. Juan Gonzalez, in his haste to try to get a play at the plate, fumbled the ball around. He was able to recover and get the runner going to first, but it allowed Ibar to score, and we are tied at 2 in the 9th. And the winning run is at third with Greg Porter at the plate. 0 for 3 tonight, and he takes outside. Mike Napoli is that winning run. A leadoff walk, an infield hit, a disputed hit batsman. That loaded the bases to start the frame. Porter takes high, 2-0. So Rancho thoroughly shut down through 8 innings tonight, but the Quakes pitchers did a great job on the Sixers, and they held them to just 2 runs. And it paid off as Rancho is tied it in the 9th. Trying to win their 5th in a row, Porter takes on the inside corner. Sixers trying to snap a 4-game road losing streak in which they have scored just 14 runs. Livingston staring into Brian Lentz. Pizarro down in the bullpen, and the pitch on the way to Porter, outside corner for a strike. 2-2. Inland Empire hoping to get this thing into extra panels tonight. The Sixers have been involved in 2 extra inning games, winning them both. Rancho is 2-1 in extra innings if we get there. 2-2 pitch to Greg Porter. Swing and a miss. Down it goes. He got out in front of it. So Bobby Livingston has fanned Porter 3 times, a career-high 10 strikeouts, and yet if the Sixers do not score this inning and then hold on and win, Livingston would wind up with a no decision tonight. He will not be the losing pitcher, but he is done. He will not pitch the 10th. 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th for the Quakes on 1 infield hit, and at the end of 9, a 2-2 tie.
At Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, they're totally committed to providing your child with the most advanced care available. They're the only children's hospital in the Inland Empire. From cuts and broken bones to cardiac care and transplants, the medical staff at Loma Linda University Children's Hospital attends to each child with love, concern, and personal attention. More information is at 800-825-KIDS. Loma Linda University Children's Hospital.
Are you serious about your career? ITT Technical Institute in San Bernardino offers technology and business education for today's workplace with associate and bachelor's degrees in 4 schools of study. ITT Tech has many different class schedules with hands-on learning and applied knowledge. Financial aid is also available for those who qualify. ITT Tech in San Bernardino is located on Briar Drive. More information on your new career is at 800-888-3801. ITT Tech and education for the future.
Monday morning on the California Report, we'll conclude our series on teen pregnancy in the San Joaquin Valley. Fewer teenagers are having babies statewide, but it's a different story in the Valley. We'll examine why teen pregnancy is such a stubborn problem there, how state budget cuts could make it worse, and what the community is doing to change teen behavior. I'm Scott Schaefer, and I hope you'll join us Monday morning for the California Report.
At 6:50 on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Even though the Quakes have just 3 hits, they have forced the game into extra innings. 2-2. You know, Inland Empire, since Gonzalez hit that 2-run homer in the 5th inning, they got a single after that. The Sixers have only 1 base hit in the last 4 innings. And Matt Wilhite will work to Harris, Vaughn, and Rogelstad in the Sixer half of the 10th, the 3rd extra inning game of the year for Inland Empire, and the 4th for Rancho. Harris takes the first pitch low, 1-0. The Sixers on the 24th of April won a 9-8 home game in 10 innings against Lancaster. Harris takes outside 2-0. And on April 16th, won a 3-2 home game against the Storm in 10 innings. Rancho went 11 innings against Lake Elsinore on the 8th. A week ago tonight, and they scored 6 runs in the 11th to win 7-1. Harris takes outside 3-0. Gary 1 for 4 tonight, was robbed of what probably would have been a 2-run double in the 3rd on a great catch in right center by Ranzo Melgarejo. Rancho had a 12-inning game at home against San Jose April 28th. Harris takes ball 4. So the Sixers getting a leadoff walk in the 10th. That's how the Rancho rally started in the 9th inning. Looks like they're going to move around down in the Quakes bullpen. T.J. Bond, the batter. Now, Bond, while he's been getting a lot of walks, T.J. has cooled off a bit at the plate. He is 1 for 4 tonight, but 8 hits in his last 35 at-bats. And we will see if Darren Brown asks him to sacrifice. More than likely he will. Bond has 1 sacrifice this year. The Quakes infield will undoubtedly be looking for a bunt. Greg Porter coming up at 3rd now, although now he races in. Pitch to Bond is low, and T.J. was not showing bunt. Bond came in hitting .319. 3 of his 4 home runs this year have been hit on the road. Human Computer in San Bernardino specializes in PC repair and parts, and they can turn a job around usually in 1 to 2 days. Will Height's pitch to Bond outside, 2-0. So if your PC is on the fritz, don't fret. Human Computer on the corner of Highland Avenue and Del Rosa in San Bernardino. More information is at 886-9000. Harris taking a short lead from first. Bond takes outside, so Will Height has missed on all 7 here in the 10th inning. Will Height played his college ball at Western Kentucky. He was signed by an independent team, Kenosha, in the Frontier League last year in June. Then the Angels signed him. Bond takes a 3-0 strike. So he wound up appearing in a total of 20 games his professional debut. Graduated the university there with a degree in education. Quick throw to first, not in time. When he first joined the Western Kentucky baseball team, Will Height was inserted as an infielder. Right-hander's pitch to Bond is a big chopper over third base, but foul, and in fact that almost went into the stands. Will Height will be 23 in July. He was born in Bowling Green, Kentucky. He has a brother, Michael, who played some college baseball. I'm not sure if he's still playing or not. There goes Harris. Bond hits it back to Will Height, who goes to second. One dropped by Ibar, but they're going to say that he held on to it long enough to get the out at second base. Eric Ibar, when he went to exchange the ball into his bare hand, dropped it. But I think Brandon Cooney made the right call. T.J. Bond, had he hit that ball anywhere else, Gary Harris would be at second base. But he happened to hit a one-hopper back to the pitcher. One away in the 10th inning for Matt Rogelstad, who so far tonight is hitless in 4 at-bats. Matt coming into the game 5 for 11 with 3 extra base hits and 4 RBIs during a little 3-game hitting streak. 6 of his last 10 hits have gone for extra bases. And in fact, he has 6 RBIs in his last 5 games. Matt Will Height was a second-team all-conference player 2 years ago. First one to Rogelstad is downstairs 1-0. He was also a all-region performer. Set a school record when he appeared in 33 games at Western Kentucky in 2002. He tied the career record for saves at the university. Throw back to first, T.J. Bond in there. Won 8 games 2 years ago. 8th most in his conference. Back to first, too late to get Bond. And he also hit a team-high .387 that year. Led the team in saves during his freshman season. Infield playing for 2. Will Height with the 1-0 to Rogelstad. Lined right back up the middle. T.J. Bond will stop at second base. So the Sixers have 2 on, 1 out in the 10th inning in a 2-2 tie. You look back at some of the earlier innings tonight. They had a leadoff single from Bond in the 4th inning. T.J. was in scoring position with 1 out but was stranded. Then in the 7th inning, they had a 1-out walk to Gonzalez, but Guzman forced him. Harris singled, but Bond fanned. They've gotten a few runners in scoring position tonight, but a lot of them have come when they were already 2 outs in an inning. They did it in the 3rd inning that way. They did it in the 6th inning that way. And they did it again in the 9th inning, but there had already been 2 outs. Keith Comstock out to have a word with Will Height. Notice some activity down in the Rancho bullpen. And that is right-hander Dustin Griffith. So Griffith tuning up. And Peachy Bowlett with a chance to break a 2-2 tie in the 10th. Peachy, when the night started, had the second best average on the team for the month at .356. Rene Rivera, who got the night off, or at least so far, was hitting .372 in the month of May. You go back to last year's playoff series against the Quakes, as the first one to Bowlett is low 1-0. The Sixers beating Rancho in 4 games to win the South Division, and in Game 2 of that series here at the Epicenter, Bowlett drove in 4 runs. Outfield straight away. Ibar cheating him behind Bond, the runner at second. Wilhite back 1-0 to Bowlett. Little bouncer hit back to the pitcher. Wilhite throws to third. They get the out there, and that's it. So, what are the chances of 2 balls being hit back to the pitcher? Little bouncer to Wilhite. That goes as a 1-5 fielder's choice. And the Sixers are in danger of wasting a pretty good opportunity. Bobby Meacham going to the mound, and since Comstock had already gone out there, it means that Meacham is going to make a change. Carlos Arroyo is coming up to hit, but he will have to wait and face a new pitcher. Rogelstad, the runner at second base. Bowlett is at first. We have a pitching change at the Epicenter, 2-2 tie. In the top of the 10th inning, we're going to take a 2-minute timeout and be back with more in just a moment.
I'm Scott Simon.
And I'm Leanne Hansen. Saturday and Sunday, Weekend Edition brings you the latest in news, the arts, and science.
Dan Shore analyzes the week's events. We chat films with Elvis Mitchell, sports with Ron Rappaport.
We talk with NPR correspondents around the world and test our wits against puzzle master Will Short.
So tune in this weekend. Get the latest, early, on Weekend Edition.
From NPR News.
Weekend mornings on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Hi, I'm Lisa McCree of California Connected. Join us each week for a look at what's going on in your state.
If people want politics to improve in this state, they'd have to get more involved in the political process, and they have a weapon to bear on that, and that is the ballot that they cast.
The problems and the solutions.
You get enough people together, and you'll be that squeaky wheel. You can make your own changes.
Get informed and get involved with California Connected. What state are you in? That's California Connected, Saturday at noon on KVCR, San Bernardino, Riverside.
Omnitrans is working hard to provide the public with a level of service that's bigger and better. A listing of their system-wide improvements is in your bus book if you're a current Omnitrans rider or on their website. Omnitrans operates the nation's first gasoline-electric hybrid buses and over 100 buses powered by clean natural gas 7 days a week. Omnitrans will get you to work, school, or wherever life takes you with improved routes and better service. More information is at 800-966-6428 or on the web at omnitrans.org. Be smart, be safe. Omnitrans.
San Bernardino, you could use a change. Is it time for you to change your motor oil and filters? The Public Services Department has free used oil and filter collection containers available to City of San Bernardino residents. Containers are available at City Hall at 300 North D Street. Please bring a valid ID and your current water bill, only one of each per household. Used motor oil may be taken to any certified recycling center in San Bernardino. For a complete listing, the number is 1-888-OIL-DROP. This program is funded by a grant from the California Integrated Waste Management Board.
Right-hander Dustin Griffith brought in to face Carlos Arroyo with 2 on, 2 outs, and a 2-2 tie in the 10th. Arroyo 0 for 3 with a walk tonight, and the first one almost hit him. He had to back out of the way. It wound up dropping down around his feet. Griffith pitched a scoreless inning Thursday against Visalia here. This would be his 11th appearance. He is 0-2 coming out of the pen. Looks at second. Arroyo hits a high chopper up the middle, and Ibar can't get it. The second baseman, Pavkovich, can. They throw to the plate. High throw. Ball gets away. Rogelstad scores. Now coming around third base is Bowlett. The throw back to Ibar. Not in time. Holy smokes, what a wild play that was. Two-run score on the play on a ball that was chopped up the middle. Ibar couldn't get it. Pavkovich, the second baseman, way behind the bag, did. Rogelstad coming around third. The throw was not a good one, but it was in time, but Buddy couldn't hold on to it. When the ball rolled away, Bowlett came into the plate. They threw back home, and the throw to the plate to Ibar was high. And it's 4-2 Sixers in the 10th, and I'm going to have to get a written scoring play on that as Matt Hagan comes up. But as it turns out, Arroyo standing at second. And Griffiths pitched to Hagen outside and low, and Matt went for it. 0-1. That will be, well, actually, no, they didn't put a hit up, so I think that might be a straight fielder's choice. Griffiths 0-1 pitch on the outside corner, 0-2. Okay, it's going to be a hit for Arroyo. As soon as we get a decision on that crazy play, I'll let you know what it is. 4-2 Sixers in the 10th. Griffiths pitch home. Hagen way out in front of it, and Matt goes down on strikes. An 0 for 5 night for Hagen. So the inning is over, but the Sixers get 2 on one of the craziest plays you're going to see in a while. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Inland Empire 4, Rancho Cucamonga 2.
Toyota of Redlands is pleased to once again be partnering with the California League champion 66ers. Located at 1139 West Redlands Boulevard, Toyota of Redlands has a line of new 2004 Toyota cars and trucks, as well as certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Toyota of Redlands is part of the local community just like you and believes in personal relationships, and they're open 7 days a week. More information is at 793-0300 or on the web at toyotaofredlands.com.
Are you serious about your career? ITT Technical Institute in San Bernardino offers technology and business education for today's workplace with associate and bachelor's degrees in 4 schools of study. ITT Tech has many different class schedules with hands-on learning and applied knowledge. Financial aid is also available for those who qualify. ITT Tech in San Bernardino is located on Briar Drive. More information on your new career is at 800-888-3801. ITT Tech and education for the future.
Baseball season is at hand, and movie guy Kevin Murphy has been thinking about the sport, but not Field of Dreams or The Natural. I'm Brian Naylor. Sunday on Weekend Edition from NPR News, Murphy looks at 2 baseball films dealing with real ball players with real lives and human complexities. Also another slice of Americana, Woody Guthrie, revealed in a new biography.
Sunday morning on KVCR, San Bernardino.
We have the official word on that play that allowed 2 Sixer runs to score. Carlos Arroyo will get credit for a hit. Adam Pavkovich, the second baseman who fielded the ball, will get credit for an assist. Ryan Buddy will get charged with an error for dropping the throw home. And Rogelstadt and Bowlett scoring as the result of that error, which means that the 2 runs are unearned. Melvin Pizarro will try to now get a save, and Bobby Livingston, who had his 2-hit shutout spoiled in the 9th, would have an opportunity to get the win and go to 6-0. Pizarro does not have a save. He is 2-0 in 8 games. And Ryan Buddy, once you know it, his error let the 2 runs to score. He now leads off and swings and misses. Buddy 1 for 3 tonight. Pizarro threw 2 scoreless innings and got a win against the Mavericks last Tuesday. He worked in 1 game of the last Rancho series, May the 3rd, and got a win in that game. 0-1 pitch to Buddy. Downstairs, 1-1. Pavkovich on deck, and then Melgarejo. They have a pretty wild game going on at the hangar in Lancaster tonight. Visalia, in the top of the 8th inning, has an 11-9 lead over the Jethawks. 1-1 pitch. Downstairs, 2-1. Pizarro has allowed just 7 hits, a 137 average. He has walked just 3 while fanning 11 in 14 1/3 innings. He has not issued a leadoff walk. Pitch to Buddy, low and inside, but now he's 1 pitch away from doing so here. Leadoff hitters have 3 hits in 12 at-bats against Melvin Pizarro. Buddy backs out for a moment. Remember, the Quakes rallied and got 2 in the bottom of the 9th after a leadoff walk. Buddy takes on the inside corner, 3-2. The Sixers used a leadoff walk to stage a 2-run rally in the top of the 10th. The High Desert Mavericks snapped their 7-game losing streak tonight. They beat Lake Elsinore 5-4 at Maverick Stadium, breaking a tie in the bottom of the 8th. San Jose lost a 1-0 game in Stockton tonight. Buddy hits a high fly ball into right. T.J. Bond going back several steps, has a play, and makes the catch. Pizarro retires the all-important leadoff batter. And here's Adam Pavkovich, who has walked, lined out, and flied out. Sixers trying to make it 3-0 in extra inning games this year. If they hold on to win, and if Visalia can hold on in Lancaster, and looking at that line score, they've got a ways to go in that game, even though it's the 8th inning. Strike one call to Pavkovich. But if that happens, the Sixers' lead in the South would increase to 3. Pavkovich, second-year player, played for 3 different Angel Farm teams last year. Right-handed hitter, who is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight, pops it up behind the plate. Brian Lentz is under it, makes the two-handed catch. He started to stagger to his right, but stayed with it. 2 outs in the 10th inning, and here's Ranzo Melgarejo. 0 for 3, couple of flyouts. Modesto beating Bakersfield by a 2-1 score tonight. That game is in the 6th inning. Sixers have out-hit the Quakes 9-3 when Inland Empire has either out-hit the opponent or finished with the same number of hits. They have gone 19-5 this year. Melgarejo takes outside from Pizarro, 1 ball and no strikes. Doesn't look like there's anyone throwing behind Pizarro. Melvin, trying to resurrect his career, has done very well to this point. 1-0 to Melgarejo is low. 2 balls and no strikes. Sixers this year are 8-8 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs. Rancho is 8-7. The 2-0 pitch to Melgarejo is on the outside corner. Pitch looked a little bit outside from up here. The 2-1. DJ Weed on deck, hoping to get a chance to hit. Quakes averaging about 4.8 runs a game at home this year. Have scored 2 tonight. Next one is low and outside, 3-1. Averaging better than 5.5 runs a game for the season. Rancho winning 11-5 last night, but it has been a tight ball game tonight, and we're in extra frames. Pizarro's 3-1 pitch in there for a strike, 3-2 with 2 outs. 9 of the last 11 Sixer games decided by 4 runs or more. This could be a rare exception here as they lead by 2 in the 10th. Outfield straightaway, you've got Arroyo, Harris, and Bond out there. And the 3-2 to Melgarejo is swung on and looped into right, and it will drop. In between Rogelstadt and Bond, so the Quakes still have life. 2-out single for Ranzo Melgarejo will bring up B.J. Weed. The Sixers getting their 2 runs in the top of the inning with 2 outs in the frame. And now Rancho trying to do the same thing to tie it. B.J. Weed has popped up, singled, and walked tonight. Exciting ball game, and good to have you with us on your Saturday night. Tomorrow is a day game at 2:15. We'll have it for you internet only. Pizarro from the stretch and gets a first pitch strike into Weed. B.J. struggling a bit in recent games. He is 7 for 42 over his last 11. After hitting .339 in April, he was hitting .212 in May. Coming into play tonight. Guzman, a couple of steps behind the bag at third. Pizarro's pitch to Weed is low. 1 ball and 1 strike to BJ. If Weed gets aboard, Reggie Willits would have a chance to then hit. B.J. Weed spent a couple of years at Jefferson Davis Community College in Alabama before he went to Jacksonville University. The 1-1 from Pizarro is lined off to the right into the stands. 1-2. Paid attendance tonight, 6,581. A lot of people in those terrace boxes down the left and right field line, normally unoccupied except on busy weekend nights. So a good turnout. I think they're supposed to have a fireworks show tonight. As it is, this game is not even at the 3-hour mark due to the fact we have not had a lot of runs. 2 out in the 10th. Pizarro's pitch on the way to Weed is low and inside. 2-2. Meanwhile, Willits continues to wait in the weeds, no pun intended, with B.J. Weed at the plate. B.J. 1 for 4 yesterday. Right-handed batter, Pizarro nods yes. Ryan Lentz setting up on the outer part of the plate. Weed hits the pitch back into the screen. That's exactly where Lentz had set up. Pizarro delivered it there, and B.J. able to get a piece of it. B.J. Weed, as a sophomore at Jefferson Davis Community College, was a first-team All-State player. He hit .436 and made just 2 errors as a second baseman. His team advanced to the Junior College National World Series. 2-2 pitch, fouled back. So B.J. hanging tough. Ranzo Melgarejo back to first base. B.J., a second-team All-State player, is a freshman. His team won the National Junior College title in 1998. Started 3 years at Valley Central High School back in Maybrook, New York. First-team All-State and All-Area player as a senior. Pizarro ready, and the 2-2 pitch to Weed is punched on the ground slowly into right field for a base hit. Melgarejo to third. Bond's throw all the way through, too late. Reggie Willits coming up. Now you're starting to get into a little bit of trouble. Walking close to the danger zone, you've got Eric Ibar and Mike Napoli, the next 2. So Pizarro got 2 outs, but has not been able to put away the last 2 hitters. He gave up a 3-2 single to Melgarejo. He had 2 strikes on Weed, who fouled a few pitches away and finally hit a slow roller, a seeing-eye single into right. So the Quakes have the tying run on base, the winning run at the plate. Reggie Willits, who is 1 for 4 tonight with a pair of strikeouts. Runners in scoring position this year. Willits was hitting .219. Pizarro's pitch. Inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Activity in the Sixer bullpen. Left-hander Miguel Martinez tuning up down the right field line. Pizarro trying to get his first save. The Sixer bullpen with 11 saves and 1 blown save. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball to second. Rogelstad has it. Goes to Hagen, and the Sixers have won it in 10. What a ball game here at the Epicenter tonight. 4-2 Inland Empire, although the Quakes lose with the tying run on base. An exciting night here at the Epicenter. 4 runs on 9 hits, no errors for the Sixers, who have made just 1 error in the last 7 games. 2 runs on 5 hits, and it turns out to be 1 big error for the Quakes. Bobby Livingston doesn't pitch a complete game, as it turns out, but he still gets the win. So he is now 6-0 this year. The losing pitcher is going to be Matt Wilhite. Will Height now 2-2 this year. And Melvin Pizarro picks up his first save of the season. So the Quakes' 4-game winning streak is snapped. The Sixers' 4-game road losing streak is snapped. Sixers 24-13, so they match their high water mark by going 11 games over 500. The Quakes dropping back under the break-even mark at 17-18. The Sixers getting back to 500 on the road this year. They are now 11-11. So that means tomorrow will be the rubber game of the series. We'll have it for you internet only, beginning at about 2:10. It'll be right-hander Phil Wilson for the Quakes, right-hander Felix Hernandez for Inland Empire. Sixers now 3-0 in extra innings. They beat the Quakes tonight 4-2. And now this is Mike Sager inviting you to stay tuned for the postgame show coming right up.
You've been listening to Inland Empire 66ers baseball on KVCR. Today's game has been made possible by Loma Linda University Children's Hospital, the only children's hospital in the Inland Empire. By Toyota of Redlands on West Redlands Boulevard and on the web at toyotaofredlands.com. By Omnitrans, be smart, be safe. By Community Hospital of San Bernardino. And by Center Chevrolet, family-owned and operated in San Bernardino. Don't go away. The 66ers postgame report is coming right up.
Fans, you can see some of baseball's brightest and best future stars up close and personal at this year's California League versus Carolina League All-Star Game, June 29th at Arrowhead Credit Union Park. There will be a pregame skills competition that will include the always popular Home Run Derby. Tickets for this year's All-Star Game are available now. The 66ers can provide you with more information at 909-888-9922 or on the web at ie66ers.com. Omnitrans is working hard to provide the public with a level of service that's bigger and better. A listing of their system-wide improvements is in your bus book if you're a current Omnitrans rider or on their website. Omnitrans operates the nation's first gasoline-electric hybrid buses and over 100 buses powered by clean natural gas 7 days a week. Omnitrans will get you to work, school, or wherever life takes you with improved routes and better service. More information is at 800-966-6428 or on the web at omnitrans.org. Be smart, be safe, Omnitrans. The SPC Smart Yellow Pages is the most popular Yellow Pages in San Bernardino County. Why? Because the SPC Smart Yellow Pages is complete, trusted, and reliable.
It's time for the 66ers postgame report on KVCR, featuring interviews, game highlights, and a complete rundown of the scoreboard. Now let's head back out to the ballpark.
Well, in a wild game at the Epicenter tonight, Bobby Livingston was on the cusp of throwing a complete game shutout. All of a sudden, next thing you knew, the Quakes got 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth to tie it. And then on a very wild 10th inning play, the Sixers got 2 unearned runs. The Quakes with 2 outs in the 10th inning got 2 runners on base before Melvin Pizarro was able to induce Reggie Willits to bounce out the second to end it, and the Sixers hold on to beat the Quakes in the second game of this 3-game series 4-2. Bobby Livingston, the first pitcher in the Cal League to get to 6 wins, is now 6-0 this year. He is 2-0 against the Quakes. And Inland Empire has won 4 of the 6 against Rancho this year. All 6 have been right here at the Epicenter. We'll take a timeout and come back to recap tonight's game in just a moment.
As California continues to grow, so does the important underground infrastructure. Just about anywhere you dig, there could be an underground facility lying in wait. How do you avoid hitting them? The easy way, the legal way, is Dig Alert. It's the one-call notification center that supports all of Southern California. It's a simple process to help and avoid the costly errors of cutting fiber optic cables to the hazard of damaging power lines or gas pipes. For more information before you dig, 1-800-227-2600.
Baseball season is at hand, and movie guy Kevin Murphy has been thinking about the sport, but not Field of Dreams or The Natural. I'm Brian Naylor. Sunday on Weekend Edition from NPR News, Murphy looks at 2 baseball films dealing with real ball players with real lives and human complexities. Also another slice of Americana, Woody Guthrie, revealed in a new biography.
Sunday morning on KVCR, San Bernardino.
Fireworks going on outside. We had a lot of fireworks in the latter stages of the ball game tonight. Tonight's game was scoreless after 4 innings. Gene Toledo and Bobby Livingston locking horns, and finally somebody got on the board in the 5th inning. It was the Sixers who did it with 1 out. Brian Lynch doubled, and that brought up the leadoff hitter, Juan Gonzalez. Toledo looks back at second, and the pitch on the hands hit the right field and hit pretty deep. Melgarejo looks up, it is gone. Juan Gonzalez has hit his first home run of the year, and the Sixers lead 2-0 in the 5th inning. Well, those were the only 2 runs we had for quite some time. After Gonzo hit the home run, Guzman got a base hit, and then the Sixers from the 6th through the 9th innings tonight wound up scoring wound up getting just 1 hit. Well, Livingston pitched into the 9th, trying to get the first complete game by a Sixer pitcher this year. He started the inning by walking B.J. Weed. Reggie Willits followed with an infield hit to short. And then Eric Ibar, showing bunt, watched the pitch get away. We thought it was a wild pitch, and then, come to find out, Jeremy Sparling, the plate umpire, ruled that Ibar was hit by the pitch. That drew an argument from the Sixers, but to no avail. The Quakes had the bases loaded, nobody out. Mike Napoli, the league's home run and RBI leader, bounced out to third 5-2, so that reloaded the bases but kept the shutout intact. David Gates hit one to short. Gonzalez was in, and I think in his haste to try to turn a play at the plate, kicked the ball, but he was able to recover and get an out at first. But on the play, Eric Ibar came in to score. There had been a wild pitch during that at bat, which had also scored a run. And then Porter struck out to end the inning. Livingston a career-high 10 strikeouts. So it was 2-2. We went to the 10th inning, and Gary Harris started the frame with a walk, but then T.J. Bond forced him at second. Rogelstad then came up with a base hit to put runners at first and second. Ballett hit back to the pitcher, and Wilhite threw to third to get a force out on T.J. Bond. At that point, Bobby Meacham made a pitching change and brought in Dustin Griffith. The Sixers had Rogelstad at second, Peachy Ballett at first, and Carlos Arroyo was the batter. Looks at second. Arroyo hits a high chopper up the middle, and Ibar can't get it. The second baseman, Paskovich, can. They throw to the plate. High throw. Ball gets away. Rogelstad scores. Now coming around third base is Ballett. The throw back to Ibar. Not in time. Holy smokes, what a wild play that was. Two runs scored on the play on a ball that was chopped up the middle. Ibar couldn't get it. Paskovich, the second baseman, way behind the bag, did. Rogelstad coming around third. The throw was not a good one, but it was in time, but Buddy couldn't hold on to it. When the ball rolled away, Ballett came into the plate. They threw back home, and the throw to the plate to Ibar was high. Well, the Sixers led by 2, and then Melvin Pizarro was able to get the first 2 Quakes in the Rancho half of the 10th inning. But you knew Rancho had to make this kind of a game interesting, and sure enough, that's what happened. Melgarejo and Weed followed at the bottom of the order by getting singles. So the Quakes had 2 on the top of the order coming up, but Reggie Willits eventually grounded out to Rogelstad to end it, and the Sixers held on to win 4-2. 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and for the Quakes, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. Livingston now 6-0 gets the win. He went 9 tonight. Wilhite, the loser, is 2-2, and Melvin Pizarro saved number 1. 6,581. The paid attendance tonight Time of the ball game was 2 hours and 46 minutes. So the Sixers snap a 4-game road losing streak. They go to 11 games over 500 for the second time this year. The Quakes' 4-game winning streak is over, and they have fallen under 500 by 1 game. We'll take a timeout, come back to check the out-of-town scoreboard for you in just a moment.
You know, baseball players aren't the only people who rely on a good night's sleep to maintain peak performance. We all do. That's why the right mattress is vital when you're shopping for a new bed. Banner Mattress has sold nearly 2 million mattresses since it opened in 1926. Why have so many people relied on Banner Mattress? Because they still make their own beds using old-world craftsmanship that was the philosophy of the company's founder. Banner Mattress has 3 San Bernardino locations on South E Street, Hospitality Lane, and South I Street.
On April 18, 1906, in the city known as the Paris of the West, the earth trembled, buildings burned, corrupt politicians covered up the facts, and Enrico Caruso sang. A new novel tells the story of the great San Francisco earthquake and fire, Sunday, on All Things Considered from NPR News.
At 5 p.m. on KVCR, San Bernardino.
On the out-of-town scoreboard tonight, starting in the California League, the Visalia-Lancaster game still showing it's in the top of the 8th inning, and that is 11-9 in favor of Visalia. So if the Oaks can hold on and win, the Sixers' lead in the South would be at 3 games. High Desert snapped its 7-game losing streak. They beat Lake Elsinore 5-4 tonight. David Bradley got the win. Mike Richardson and Paul McAnulty homered in a losing cause for Lake Elsinore. San Jose shut out in Stockton tonight. 1-0 final, the only run scoring in the 8th inning. Ben Kiter got the win over Anthony Pannone. And Modesto at Bakersfield still showing it's in the top of the 8th inning. And the A's leading the Blaze by a 5-3 count. Over in the Major Leagues, National League scoreboard, St. Louis shut out Florida by 4-0 final as Carpenter got the win over Oliver. Philadelphia pounded Colorado 16-5. Scott Ellerton, the loser, is 0-6 and then was designated for assignment after the game. Bobby Abreu, a home run for Philadelphia, one of their 18 hits. Castilla, Clayton, and Helton had homers for the Rockies. Pittsburgh over the Giants, 6-4 in San Francisco. Josh Fogg, for the first time this year, getting a win. And I guess it's only appropriate that Fogg should get his first win of the year in San Francisco. Wilson, a home run for the Bucks, is 9th. Atlanta, 11-6 over Milwaukee. Alfonseca now 5-0 with the victory. Andrew Jones hit his 6th of the year for the Braves. Houston 7-4 over the Mets. Andy Pettit, now 4-1, picks up the win. Dotel save number 7. The Cubs over San Diego 7-5. Sammy Sosa hit his 10th home run of the year and also passed Mike Schmidt on the all-time home run list. Alou hit his 9th and Ramirez hit his 9th for the Cubs. Montreal shut out Arizona 5-0 in the desert. Vargas getting the win over former Jethawk right-hander Casey Daigle, and former Jethawk Termel Sledge hit his 4th home run of the year for Montreal. The Reds shut the Dodgers out 4-0 behind Todd Van Poppel, the journeyman right-hander who winds up getting the win over Odalis Perez. Griffey Jr. hit his 8th of the year for the Reds, who have held the Dodgers to 1 run in the first 2 games of that series. American League scores: Oakland beat Kansas City 3-1 on a complete game from Mark Mulder, who wins his 4th. Eric Chavez, his 10th home run of the year. Minnesota 4-1 over the White Sox. 2 home runs for Torrey Hunter. Frank Thomas hit his 7th of the year for the Sox. Esteban Loaiza, the loser, is now 4-3. The Angels 7-4 winners in Baltimore. Jared Washburn is now 7-1, and the Angels have won 25 games this year and boast the best record in the major leagues. Troy Percival saved number 10. Guerrero and Halter homered for the Halos. Tejada and Mora for the Orioles. The Red Sox shut out Toronto 4-0. Arroyo beating Hinkin. Ortiz hit his 10th of the year for the Red Sox, one of 3 home runs they hit. The Mariners squandered 2 big leads in New York, went extra innings, and then scored 6 in the 13th and beat the Yankees 13-7. Despite the fact the Yankees hit 5 home runs today. Alex Rodriguez with 9. He hit 2. Sheffield, Williams, and Matsui also homered. It was Guardado getting the win. Gabe White the loss. Dan Wilson of the Mariners had 2 3-run doubles today. Texas over Detroit 6-1. The Rangers getting home runs from Soriano, Young, and Blaylock. Kenny Rogers winning his 5th of the year. And Cleveland 9-7 over Tampa Bay. 5 RBIs for the Tribe's Victor Martinez. Jake Westbrook got the win. Zambrano took the loss. That's your out-of-town scoreboard for tonight, and we'll have more from Rancho in a moment.
There's a saying in baseball that to play well, you have to look good from head to toe. That's why all Major League and Minor League baseball players wear caps made by New Era Cap Company. Behind every New Era flag is a storied past of passion, integrity, and pride. Passion for detail and excellence, integrity that's reflected in a high-quality cap, and pride for the successes and relationships born from passion and integrity. More information on New Era Caps can be found at neweracap.com. New Era Cap Company. It's not a cap, it's a flag.
Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries is a proud supporter of 66ers baseball. Lazy Boy has locations in San Bernardino, Riverside, Hemet, and Ontario Mills. Lazy Boy has been a part of America's home since the late 1920s. Lazy Boy's furniture stands the test of time thanks to quality materials, extensive engineering, and rigorous testing. They're committed to building only the quality furniture and back every piece with their word. Lazy Boy. They make rooms that make homes.
Well, don't forget, tomorrow we will have the game for you, internet only. It is a day game here in Rancho. Game will be at 2:15, and we'll be on sportsjuice.com at about 2:10. Our next radio broadcast, following a day off on Monday, will be at Maverick Stadium on Tuesday night. And, in fact, we'll only have one of those 3 games on radio. Wednesday, we are preempted by another KVCR program, and the next Thursday, the final game of that road trip, will be a morning game. So our next radio broadcast Tuesday from High Desert, but you can tune us in on the internet tomorrow. Right-hander Phil Wilson goes for the Quakes, and Felix Hernandez, a 3-1 record, will be on the hill for Inland Empire. Till then, this is Mike Sager speaking for Mike Wagenheim, wishing you a very good Saturday night from the epicenter in Rancho Cucamonga, where the 66ers, in a wild game tonight, survive a 10th-inning scare, hold on to beat the Quakes in 10 innings tonight by the final of 4-2.
That'll do it for this edition of the 66ers postgame report on KVCR. We sure hope you can join us again for all of the excitement of California League baseball with your defending league champs, the Inland Empire 66ers.